For local sports in the afternoon, it's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
It's beginning to look a lot like football.
Kyle Draper, unless I'm there, and I haven't been to one in a long time, but unless I'm there, rarely do I watch a whole preseason game. I don't know about you. I'll have it on. I'll watch this. I'll watch that. Last night, I think I pretty much watched that whole.
You watched the whole thing, huh?
And I don't usually do that.
I saw everything I needed to see in the first 3 drives. After that,
you didn't watch Josh Dobbs?
I didn't watch Josh Dobbs. I'm gonna go off the box score today. I'm gonna be a box score watcher today. I saw some highlights, some clips of my guy Josh Dobbs, but if
you didn't watch him, you can't claim him as your guy.
I can claim him as my guy.
You didn't even watch him
anybody
last
that
night.
does well, they're my guy. If you struggle, a la Brock Purdy, I'm out on you. You're not my guy. So
yeah, Brock was not very good.
Yeah, he was set up to fail though, right? I mean, we're going to get into that. It was ugly right from the start. Fortunately, Josh Dobbs came in and put some points on the board, unlike Purdy. But it just was not a good showing from the first 3 drives. I thought,
right. You could argue that it was foolish. I would argue that it was not the brightest move to even start Brock Purdy with that offensive line. And he did get Chase Young was like, hey, I'm going to show you guys you shouldn't have let me go. And Brock Purdy took some hits last night. It all worked out, no problem, no harm, no foul. But that was kind of a dubious decision that I think they just got away with.
Yeah, I was going to let you start that off, because I don't want it to come out as Niners hate. But how come everybody else gets off, but you throw your quarterback out there, your star quarterback out there? It didn't make any sense, It's like, and then you're going to play them coming up on Friday. I thought Brock Purdy was set up to fail, if you will. None of your skill position guys. Offensive line in shambles. Like, what are we doing out here?
Right.
And to bring him out there for the 3rd series after he got, hit in the 2nd series, it just didn't make sense. And I don't know what Kyle Shanahan was looking to gain from that. Maybe he wanted to, see Brock, it hasn't been a great camp for him. Maybe give him as many live reps as possible, but I think it backfired on him.
One thing I've learned, you've probably learned it a long time ago as well, is that you can never tell too much from how a quarterback's playing in the preseason. Really, really foolish to put too much stock in how a guy plays in any preseason circumstance. That said, the Pastronaut had launched last night. Liftoff. Woo! People respond to this guy. They responded to him last year when he was on Arizona, and Minnesota. Yeah. He's fun to watch, and there was something about the way he played last night. Yeah, it was 2s against 2s or maybe worse, but he had 3 scoring drives. He's fun, and already I think 49er fans are taking a liking to him.
Yeah, his ability to scramble as well, buy some time, and I was following it. I wasn't watching, like I said, but I was following it on social media, seeing some of the tweets and everything like that. And people are like, if the Niners thought they were going to hide Josh Dobbs on the practice squad, it ain't happening.
Right.
Like, the secret's out. Like, it's no longer a secret. This kid can play. And you got to think that he's probably the number 2 right now over Brandon Allen, the way he's playing.
I know that Jay had said, look, you can make him your 3rd quarterback, which made sense, but now I don't think you even want to.
Right. That's what I here's the thing. And I look at it maybe differently than a lot of people, in the league, but I view the backup quarterback as, if the starter goes down, who can lead me the furthest? Who can maybe march me down to the Super Bowl? I'm not saying Josh Dobbs is a Super Bowl quarterback, but he has more of a package, I guess, than Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen's nice. He's fine. He's 10-2, though. He's 10-2. He'll get you there. He's the bus driver, got his hands on the steering wheel, 10-2. Josh Dobbs got a little electricity to him, a little magic to him.
I didn't hear everything you said, but I think I would just say you're right. Brandon Allen played well, too. He had right, Jay? All the 49er quarterbacks last night. We're lighting it up.
I mean, if you were, from Mars and came down and watched that game yesterday, who was the worst quarterback for the Niners on the field?
Yesterday?
Yeah, that's tough. Now let me
Brock
ask
Purdy
you.
was not as good as the other three.
Right.
Not
Three.
just the other two, the other
Tanner,
three.
Mordecai.
Yeah.
Is that how you say
Mordecai.
it? Mordecai. Is that? My eyes are so bad. My eyes are so bad.
He played well. I think he completed his first 4 passes. Other than Brock Purdy, the 49er quarterbacks were on fire last night.
But, you can't take too much out of it. Here's the thing, though. And I'm watching Brock. Why was Dobbs, Mordecai, Brandon Allen, why were they more successful? Is it because they were going against second and third stringers? Explain that to me, if you will, Niners Nation, Bang Bang Niner gang, if you will. Why did the other quarterbacks look good and your starter did not?
Probably because you had a makeshift offensive line in parts against, the Saints' really good defense. They have a ton of talent on their defense. So Brock Purdy was at a disadvantage there.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering, because Brock and Dobbs and Mordecai and Allen, they were all throwing to the same guys. It wasn't like, Josh Dobbs had Debo split outright or anything like that. Somehow he made it look good. I just was wondering. And then
what's your point?
No, I'm just saying. I don't want to come off this. This is not how I want to come off.
No, it's not an answer to what's your point. What's your point? No.
But we just got to call a spade, Whitey. Brock Purdy has not looked good, whether it be camp with the interceptions or the first preseason game. And I think the bigger discussion regarding Brock Purdy isn't whether he's a good quarterback or not. It's that he's trying to get paid. And is there a situation where, he's looking ahead, trying to earn his paycheck instead of focusing on week by week?
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
It's certainly something to keep an eye on. But I don't know what his camp numbers are, and I don't want to look them up if they're available. But he hasn't been always terrible in camp this year. He's had some good days in camp. He hasn't just been out there stinking.
Right. I'm just wondering, though, because from a psychological standpoint, and this has nothing to do with Brock Purdy, actually, it's just about human nature. You go into a contract year. You want to get paid. You want to show that you can do this, X, Y, and Z. And that's something I'm going to keep an eye on throughout this season. Is Brock Purdy? I looked at it, man. Somebody tweeted out the salaries of all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And for Brock Purdy to still be under $1 million, he feels clearly you got to feel like you're underpaid if you're Brock Purdy. Does money factor into anything at all psychologically for this guy?
We'll see. I don't think last night was an indicator one way or the other on that, because you saw him as pointing to his receivers, and they didn't know where they were supposed to be going on a scramble drill. And I don't think Brock Purdy got to throw to Jacob Cowing. Jacob Cowing was good last night.
He's a stud. He's a stud. Working with the Pac-12 network last season, I got to see him, some of his highlights and some of his games at Arizona on the Pac-12 network. And this guy's a player, no doubt about it. He's a player. And when you look at, they had him running, they did a trick play with him rushing the ball
19
yards. And so
on the left end on jet sweep.
Yep. And so this guy's a player, a young rookie. And I think there's a spot for him, obviously, on the team. And I think he can help this team. They got a plethora of weapons when it comes to the wide receiver, especially if IU comes back. Their wide receiver room is deep. Mm-hmm. They Jawan Jennings, you could throw in the Cowing, obviously, Tricky Ricky P when he comes back. They're deep at wide receiver. Some young talent on that wide receiver squad.
Cowing also returned 2 punts, did well on punt returns, and he may win that job. I got to ask Jay, a big 49er fan, because, we've been kind of joking for weeks now about Tricky Ricky. And I don't know. I know we haven't seen him very much at all. Are you in on Ricky Pearsall, Jay? Are you skeptical? Where are you with him?
I have no clue. I haven't seen him play.
Right.
Except for in a Florida uniform, so I can't answer that question. Allegedly, he's coming back this week. TBD in/A, fellas. I don't know what you want from me.
No,
I don't know where he's what he's done.
It just seems to me sometimes the way you talk about him, you call him Tricky Ricky.
P?
I couldn't tell if you were kind of making fun, which would have been
no.
Okay,
It's just a nickname, call me Boomer Size, and
that's
how I get down. But he is a coin flip.
Yeah,
I have no clue what he's going to bring to the table right now. We don't know.
Yeah. I think that 49er fans right now, it has been kind of a difficult camp with all the contractual issues going on. And then, they're trying to figure out how to fit Brock Purdy's salary. And as you said, I think yesterday was a somewhat encouraging day because you had a number of young players that played well. So it's not just all your eggs are not in these guys are really old and this is their last chance basket.
You see some of the young talent that they have on both sides of the ball, whether it's the receivers or on the defensive side as well. And so, based on what we've seen through 2 preseason games, I can make the argument that the Niners actually had a good draft this year. Like, I was poo-pooing it and, you're going to take a wide receiver first round. And like Jay said, we don't know what we'll see from Tricky Ricky P when he plays. But the Cowing signing, Mustafa, how well he is. Like, they got some young pieces on this team that I think will get some time, that will be on the field for the Niners this season.
So as an Eagle fan, you saw that last night. You're scared, aren't you? Woo!
Do we even play y'all this? We don't even play y'all during the regular season. I ain't worried. We ain't gonna see you guys. You guys have been a wild card while we, waiting for you in the division round or something.
Save that one,
right? Clip that, Jay. Clip that.
Drapes, how much Eagles preseason have you been able to watch?
Zero. I don't, because I'm not I don't put much stock in preseason.
Yeah,
like Whitey's saying.
I haven't watched that. I haven't watched 1 minute of 49er preseason football.
You haven't even?
Not live, nah.
Dang.
I mean, I'll go back and watch a little tape. I'm on my Brian Baldinger situation and Ross Tucker. I'll go back and watch the tape. I hear a lot of people screaming Mike Mustafa. The rookies seem good. Puny, Tate. Like there's a bunch of rookie festivities, right now.
You like
Mr. Green,
Mustafa, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think he's gonna be a beast. I can honestly see, and I'm a Hufanga fan, huge Talanoa Hufanga fan, but he's an all-pro, and if he comes back and plays well, it's gonna be tough to sign him again, especially depending on what you do with Ayuk. Or not sign him again, but sign him. He's gonna get some big money thrown out his way because safeties are hard to come by. You might be looking at a Mustafa / Jair Brown combination in the back come, maybe next year. So we'll see. But both of those guys have played pretty well since they've been, in the 49ers uniform.
Yes, the 49ers open 3 weeks from today. How close did they look last night to being ready? The conversation continues when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
49ers over the Saints last night. 16-10. Brock Purdy did not play very well, and that's what Kyle Draper wants to talk about today.
Not at all, big fella. It's preseason. I'm not worried about Brock. Once he has his weapons, his binkies out there with him, he'll be A-okay. He'll be all right.
We have this on the chat. Actually, it's from the text line, pardon me. Didn't put their name on it from the 925. He had no line. They were all over him. Ends, ? He'll be fine. guessing he's probably just mad that he didn't do better regardless. I know that there were some write-ups today that said Brock Purdy. Oh, I just saw some interesting on Ayuk, which we'll get to. Brock Purdy felt like he just wanted to play, and it helps him get into the right frame of mind, whether he's playing well or not.
So it was his choice? Like he went, it sounds like?
Yeah, I'm sure, ultimately it's Shanahan's choice, but I'm sure
if Brock is pushing for it,
Yeah. So he apparently wanted to be out there and felt like he needed to get out there and play a little bit.
Yeah, and I understand that. He's a gamer. He's a guy that, wants to play. It just didn't make sense, though, and you know how it is in sports. Sometimes the coach has to, rescue the player from himself. I can't see a scenario in which Kyle Shanahan thought, you know what, I'm going to rest everybody else, but I'm going to play my star quarterback. It just, like I said, last segment, it was almost like he was set up to fail, and it just didn't make sense to me. And you could see it pretty much right from the get-go on that opening drive. It's like he doesn't have any weapons out there. The line is, injured, banged up. Guys weren't out there, the full offensive line. And so that's a risk that they got away with, but I'm just not sure why Kyle Shanahan would do such a thing.
Maybe you saw this today in the MMQB column by Albert Breer.
Yeah.
He wrote, the Brandon Ayuk situation drags on. I don't have a whole lot to add on it. The 49ers star didn't want to go to New England, which offered him more than $30 million per year in its proposals, or the Browns. The Steelers, this is the new information. Steelers' price point was less than $28 million, which put Pittsburgh right in the neighborhood the Niners were inhabiting with Mike Tomlin's presence there, the drawing card. That in turn pushed Ayuk back to the table with the Niners.
And maybe that's why San Francisco was comfortable just sitting back and chilling. Like they knew the market wasn't out there of the teams that Ayuk wanted to go to. And we had reports last week that the ball was in Ayuk's court. It's up to him. And if they weren't even reaching 28, dude, you should have just taken the Niners offer, right? It's like trying to, get water from a rock, bro. If it ain't there, it ain't there, Brandon Ayuk. And so they reportedly upped the offer. But man, watching the Steelers yesterday, and I saw some of the highlights or lowlights, if you will. They could use a Brandon Ayuk. Like they could use
a Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, they could. You're right about that. Neither quarterback, Mordecai. Yeah, every none of their quarterbacks look good, but wow, that's stunning because we thought, and I don't know if we heard this from anybody or anything like that, but all right, if the Steelers are his number one choice, that the offer would at least be 28, 29, 30. Like it's almost like he wants to go there, but they don't even want him enough to pay him the money he wants. That's shocking there from Bert Breer.
Yeah. So that's the latest on Brandon Ayuk. I think if you're a 49er fan, this is still uncomfortable, a little anxious, but I think you got to feel pretty good. And then I think that all signs indicate, and we'll talk to Matt Barrows about this when he joins us at 5 today, all signs indicate that the deal with Trent Williams should get done pretty quickly once they get.
Yeah.
It looks like they're waiting for the Ayuk situation to be settled. Maybe then, so they'll have a clear idea how much guaranteed money they have to offer.
Yeah, I mean, and
Trent ain't going anywhere.
No,
and I
Trent
don't think
ain't going
Ayuk is
anywhere.
either. Especially
you don't think so.
He wants to go to Pittsburgh. Like, yeah, we got 28 mil for you. Hey, John, what's up?
Yeah,
I'm going to dap you up at practice. Let's talk.
Ayuk's he's backing himself into a corner now, and we're going to go through this whole song and dance, and ultimately he's going to wind up being a San Francisco 49er. I'm going to look at it like, dude, why do we have to go through all this, all the rigmarole, all the posturing, all the social media posts, if all you're going to do is sign the offer that the Niners made? And here's the thing about the Niners offer, and we don't know what it is specifically, but if you're the Niners and your initial offer was 26, there's no way you're coming close to offering 30. So if you're Ayuk, all this was over an extra million or two, maybe more in guarantees, something like that. It just seems like it's all for nothing. Like when it's all said and done, all the bad blood, all the angst or whatever, all the, talking in the media and everything, it's for nothing. I just don't get it, man.
Jonesy 007 on the chat I think he's nailed it here. I think Brock played poorly in order to help Trent and Ayuk get their contracts done, showing the team that he needs them in there. Oh, yeah. That's the way Brock Purdy.
Right.
Next level thinking.
Conspiracy theory, Jonesy.
Yeah.
And then he put the
yeah.
emoji on there.
100%.
Never thought about that.
100%.
Brock's out there running for his life just to help Ayuk. Just to help Ayuk and Trent Williams. Trust me, we didn't need to see that last night to know the Niners need those two guys. And honestly, Whitey, you tell me, was the offensive line, did it look worse than expected? We know Trent holds it all together. Or was that to be expected, what we saw last night?
Just bottom line, you can look at this guy, how he played, and that guy, and Pooney had his moments. But Brock Purdy got hit 2 or 3 times in a couple series.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Got away with it, but that ain't good.
Yeah.
So how'd the offensive line play? Not good.
Not good at all. And that's the thing. You got your prize quarterback, and I know he's making less than $1 million, but really he's your franchise. He's your, as much as, CMC is and Debo. If Brock goes down, the season goes down. And
not as worried about it now.
Oh, you think Josh Dobbs can step right in there, huh?
How about this?
And get you to what, a 9-8 kind of record.
Brock Purdy wants all that money. I can't afford to give him all that money. I got to pay all these other guys. Josh Dobbs will play for less money than Brock Purdy.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I just asked you a question. How about that?
That's something I would say. You know what I mean? That's something I would say. I'm seeing people out there, we got a quarterback controversy now and everything like that. I will say this, fellas, regarding the Niners. This has been, if you were to consider this, let's say training camp is like a Sunday drive. This Niners training camp is like driving with my daughter behind the wheel, 12-year-olds old.
Right.
It's bumpy. It's you've gone off the road. You got to grab the wheel.
Plus the check engine light is coming on. And you're hearing some rattling that doesn't sound right.
It's and I know it's all preseason and it's all camp and things, but man, it just seems like there's one thing after another with this team, whether it's the injuries, the contracts, the poor performance yesterday by your quarterback. It just has not been a smooth preseason.
That's
for
true.
The Niners.
But you haven't had your regular vehicle in tip-top shape that you've been able to drive yet. We got some spare tires on there, Yeah. It's like, we got to get training here. So, yes, it's been a bumpy ride, but there's every reason to assume that once you get your car put back together properly, it's going to
depends on who your mechanic is, Whitey. Depends on who your mechanic is, because you may get it back together and then 2 weeks later it falls apart again. You know what I mean? But no, it's nothing to worry about. Let me ask you this, though. Friday, the final dress rehearsal, if you will. We got to see something, right?
I guess.
As for peace of mind.
Depends on who plays. But yeah, also they lost some valuable time by not having those scrimmages against the Saints.
Those joint practices.
And who cares what we think? But, the coaches had some things they wanted to figure out that they haven't necessarily been able to figure out yet.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And, there's still time. And that's the thing about the Niners, man, over the years. They've been able to put the preseason, whatever drama in the offseason behind them and still focus on winning. Case in point, last year. And so when you look at their schedule, sure, they start off with the Jets, but it loosens up there early on. You got time to sort of get your mojo, get your bearings right before it gets to be a difficult schedule.
Drape, speaking of, you mentioned a car and your daughter, reminded me of something I saw on Twitter. Has nothing to do with your daughter, but somebody's daughter was in this. And I have to double check this because I didn't have the sound on, but it looks like somebody for her birthday got his daughter, and she's a little older than your daughter. He got his daughter a Mercedes, and she was.
Oh, I saw a BMW. It was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. It was
when she was kind of like,
she didn't really. Yeah.
I saw that video also.
What's up with these folded? Like,
what's going on?
Is that real, or was it for social? Now?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, Jay. You saw that too, or no?
Yeah, I just kept moving.
Like
I'm not
they trying to go viral. Yeah. That's all. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, if it was a Mercedes, she would have loved it.
No, she would have loved it, and she got to go down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, if you will. But I'll tell you what,
Mercedes man.
my son, who's 15, he's already looking at cars. And I'm like, dude, you ain't getting no Volvo. You ain't getting no. I'm like, you getting a bucket. I'm like, your max is $4,000.
No, but he's putting in a lot of hours there at True Sports Cards.
Dog, they paying him in store credit. He's not even old enough to get a paycheck yet. You know what I mean? And so I said, dude, you're about a $3,000, $4,000 max
in that
on a
Ford
car.
Contour.
Yeah, that's right. That Toyota Corolla LE from
Yes,
2000. You know, he gonna be driving a throwback. That's for sure.
What was your first car?
Nah, you know my first car. My
was the Jeep.
cherry red Jeep Cherokee
That's right.
that lasted all of an hour and a half before it broke out.
That's
broke
right.
It. How about you? What you have?
It was a Toyota. It was a Toyota Corolla.
Are you serious?
Exactly what it was.
LE
Yeah,
package.
wow.
LE.
Yeah, I think my grandmother got it for me. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Tin has been hanging on. What's on your mind today, Tin?
Hey, Whitey.
Yeah.
Whitey, thanks for taking my call so early today. I appreciate it.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, so you guys were on the Pittsburgh Steelers at the start of the show, and I want to flex real quick. Is that okay?
Go ahead. Flex real quick. All right, sure.
All right. So when I was around 16 to 17, I was in the flag football, the recreation league, NFL too, by the way. And, you know, I won Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay. Where's Tin calling from?
I'm on a light rail.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Where did he say he was?
Light rail. It sounded like
like
he was in line at Disney or on a ride at Disneyland or something.
Sound like he had Sky Zone, you know, that air. You know, go ahead, Tim. Go ahead. Tell your story, man.
I think that was it.
Did we lose? Oh, that was it?
He was Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh,
played
man.
for the Steelers in, what did he say, junior football?
I don't know, man.
Flex. That's Tim Flex
I
moment.
tuned him out. No offense, Tim. You know, sound like you're on a New York subway station or something like that.
When we come back, on the day of the last Bay Bridge Series game, action speaking louder than words. It was kind of sad, but there is hope. Next, Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town.
What was I thinking? I'm getting drunk all over.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly,
I love you just the way
Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Arby's of Sacramento and Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They believe it's all about people and choices. Their goal is to find the car that fits your lifestyle. With their huge inventory of models, they've got the right car and more importantly, at the right price every time. Experience for yourself why their customers drive away smiling. Discover the difference because it's not just about the car, it's also about the people. Experience the Sacramento Dodge Jeep and Chrysler difference off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks, or you can find them online, sacsuperstore.com.
Feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain.
Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
Good Feet Youth Arch supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
Investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
I know we're excited because the A's are coming here. That's the plan anyway. The A's coming here next year. We got the schedule and everything. They'll be here 3, maybe 4 years. But it was still a little difficult yesterday to watch the A's and the Giants playing in Oakland, the last Bay Bridge Series game, we think.
Allegedly.
Yeah, you never know. That's the way it was being framed. Nice crowd on hand. They didn't even play Friday, and I know that's a quirk of the scheduling, but that was just weird. The Giants not even playing on Friday. But Jay was kind of tough, and yeah, the Giants won, which I know for you and I makes it a little tougher. But for all the talk, and there will be a lot more talk on what's going to happen, what should happen, why it's going to happen, who's to blame. It's interesting that for all the talk that we've done and that we're going to do, action speaking louder than words. When you had Mark Canna after the game, a Giant who's a former Athletic, taking the dirt from the Coliseum, the batter's box, putting in a bucket, and you had Matt Chapman taking third base with him. That kind of got to me.
Yeah.
That got to me.
Yeah, understandable. I saw the Canna, saw the Chapman, and those are the things we've seen. Who knows what we haven't seen.
Bob Melvin, by the way, got there, he said, at 7:30 in the morning yesterday.
Really?
He was there, 11 years managing the A's, and he used to go to A's games, and so he knew it was the last game, so he got there really early just to kind of soak in the last day, and then he took the lineup card out to home play, which he doesn't normally do because it was the last game they'd play.
Good for Bob.
Yeah.
Good for Skip right there, man. I had no clue he got there at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Man, how are they even letting Bob in the stadium that early? I'm pretty sure he's got plenty of friends and associates and former people that he's worked with over with the A's for a while. But yeah, it is. It's fellas, it's coming down to a close. I was scheduled to go on Friday, the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Think I'm gonna push it back a little bit and try to get out, first week of September or so.
Okay.
Just because my daughter's school is starting and cheerleading is started, and so now Friday night football is back, right? And so it's just kind of getting a little difficult to pin down the day and when you can go. But I'm definitely gonna get out there once or twice for sure.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of what you were alluding to, Jay. You said, well, as far as we know, allegedly, the last game, I still feel like something's going to happen with Oakland. But it was sad, Drapes, to see that long series come to a close that way.
No, you're right about that, man. And, when you look at it, obviously we're excited here in Sacramento, but,
both things can still be true.
So exactly. Both things can still be true. And, with Dave Stewart, I mean, it's just, with he said, did we run that sound? Do we, got that sound where he talked?
Brody, Brody asked him, and Jay will track it down here. Yeah, did the answer surprise you? Brody asked him, hey, and it sounded like something Brody was just kind of, it's one of those things like, oh, we got like a 90 seconds here. Hey, Stu, would you give up your 89 World Series championship to keep the A's in Oakland?
Yeah, and Stu said, yeah. 100% without a doubt.
In a heartbeat,
in a heartbeat. And it goes to show you, the A's and that baseball team, that stadium is part of the fabric of Oakland, and so it's sort of like, when you look at Sacramento and the thought that the Kings wouldn't be here.
Very much like that.
It's it leaves a vacuum, if you will, an emotional tie that even though we're just right up the street from Oakland, it's a tough pill for them to swallow, no doubt.
And there are a lot of people that have been going to Oakland for years to watch the A's, and now they won't have to go as far next year if they still want to go. But still, it just seems like, boy, that should have gone another way. Hopefully it'll all work out. But you're right. Yeah, here was Dave Stewart on with Brody yesterday talking about the future of the A's.
Stu, somebody said this on social media, that they would trade the 89 World Series for the A's continuing to play baseball in Oakland. If that were a trade to be made, you being a big part of that, would you go back and sell your soul for 89 to keep the A's here?
I would do
for
that
the rest of your life.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat. You know, I grew up in this ballpark from game one.
Yeah,
Man,
Stu's you guys know Stu's a really cool guy. Sometimes the toughest guys are the nicest guys because they don't have to prove to you how tough they are.
Because they're secure in there.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
They're secure in who they are and everything like that. But you could hear it in Stu's voice in a heartbeat. Like it's not even a thought or a question or anything like that. And as an Oakland guy like he is, this is hurting him.
Mhm.
This hurts, you know, just to see the final days of the franchise down there in Oakland. But like you said, two things can be true. We can mourn what's happening in Oakland, but also be excited for the opportunity here in Sacramento.
Another reason yesterday was emotional for a lot of people is because they inducted Miggy. Actually, this was Saturday, huh? They inducted Miggy and they inducted Miguel Tejada into the A's Hall of Fame. And Jay's like, well, it's about time.
Yeah, Jose Canseco.
Canseco.
Yeah, you know, it's fellas, I had no clue that they weren't in the Hall of Fame already.
Right.
How was Miggy and Canseco still on the outside looking in?
Yeah, I don't know. Miguel Tejada, I didn't know. Jose Canseco, you know, he got traded when he was on the on-deck circle, and I could see how things were kind of strained there, but I have no idea why Miguel Tejada.
Yeah, but they're two of the most recognizable Oakland A's in history.
I agree.
Especially in the last 30, 40 years.
Sure.
You know, if you go back from 85 when Canseco was there on here, he's probably a top 10 Oakland A. And I know we're talking about a list, but he's got to be one of the most recognizable Oakland Athletics to ever play in the jersey. Like, how is he not a Hall of Famer by now?
Mm-hmm.
What have you been waiting on? Unless, even if, you know, and the organization has transferred, and I have to go back 1, 2, 3, four different owners in that time, three, 4 owners in that time. His relationship can't be strained that much where, you know, 3, 4 different owners led this organization that they have that much jealousy or, you know, heat or the anger or whatever they have towards Canseco. I'm not sure.
His reputation was tarnished, and a lot of that was his doing.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was justified, but I can understand why. You know, with the steroids and everything, it's overdue. And I thought it was really cool that he was honestly emotional and like, wow, I didn't think they'd do this.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Here's the thing with Canseco, Jay, and Whitey just brought it up, the steroids situation. You know, it's is that a black eye? And let's say, for instance, he had Hall of Fame numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If he couldn't be in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, would you be okay with him being in the Oakland A's Hall of Fame, knowing the allegations, if you will, or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it. And I'm not saying I'm perfectly fine with steroids in baseball because that's a different conversation. I just thinking, you know, some of it is personal bias coming up early 90s, late 80s when I was born. By time Canseco was the man, I was 5 years old. Right. And so he was one of the first stars that I'd ever seen play baseball, especially from my favorite team. He was one of the reasons why I became an Oakland A's fan. And if you go on throughout his career, you know, Tampa Bay, Boston, Texas, you can continue. But I do think his best years were in Oakland. I don't think that's even, you know, arguable. Right. And when you come into that, you have to give him his just due in the fact that he took this team to another level. Right. Like the Bash Brothers took this team to another level.
Wouldn't have the Splash Brothers without the Bash
Very
Brothers.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. And he's just a figure when you look at Oakland A's, you know, the organization and their time in Oakland in the 80s and the championship in 89. You know, we got Dave Stewart, who was down there at NBC Bay Area. Like, Canseco is just one of those figures when you talk about the Oakland A's, you just can't jump over.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it doesn't matter what has happened. He personifies Oakland A's in the 80s in many different ways.
Mm-hmm. You know, obviously the A's are not going to be here nearly as long as the A's were in Oakland, but I wonder if 3 or 4 years from now, when they go, if they go, maybe they stay. If they go, I wonder how hard that's going to be for Sacramento fans. Or if Sacramento, I have no idea what the answer is, but maybe
like
Sacramento
actually
fans
go to Vegas.
Yeah, if it'll be like, oh, we had him for all these years, and They were ours for a while, and now they're gone. I have no idea what the answer is. People will look at it differently, right? Because they will know going in, okay, this is probably a temporary setup.
Right. How attached do you get
knowing
that it's temporary, like you said? It'll be interesting, man, because, if they have a modicum of success, I'm saying, at least, 70 wins even, would be, I do think, and I know the excitement for the team in Sacramento is there. Anytime tickets are being released, anytime, specials are going on, they're being snatched up, premium seats. And so I do get the sense the city of Sacramento is excited to have them. But if they leave, is that like ripping your heart out again? Or do you tread cautiously? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get too attached because I don't know if you're going to be here in 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, sad day yesterday, but there's still a glimmer of hope one way or the other. By the way, John Pereira here on the chat. What do you think of this idea, Drapes? Jay, dear listener, make Josh Dobbs, the starting quarterback, trade Purdy for offensive linemen and wide receivers and what other positions?
Got a future GM right here, future president of football ops there, John
Dobbs
Pereira.
is catching on.
Exactly.
He's got fans already.
Purdy feeling the heat already?
Yeah, you play like that.
From the Santa Clara Sun, that's about it.
When we come back, Purdy didn't play well last night. He's working out some preseason kinks, and so was Tom Brady last night. That's next on Sactown Sports.
Experience a golf tournament as refined as you are. The Pro Court Championship at Silverado Resort, September 12th through the 15th. Be there as the best of Napa meets the best of the PGA Tour. With world-class wine experiences, breathtaking views, and incredible golf. It's like this weekend was made for you. The Pro Court Championship, September 12th through the 15th. For tickets, go to ProCourtChampionship.com.
At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we make the dream of owning a new car easy and stress-free.
With prices that you just can't say no to. Save on our best selection of the year during the final days of the Honda Summer Event.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text the long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile. Forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school. With the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate. Because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So for the perfect fit, make it famous. Plus, right now, save up to $30 extra when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Five Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Coming up top of the hour, Jay, we have some Kings info, and I don't even know what it is, but Kyle Draper does. That's coming up top of the hour. I honestly don't know what it is.
Let me just say, it's not worthy of the stinger, though. The breaking news stinger.
I was going to say, is it breaking news?
I knew that's what Jay was thinking. Not worried, but it's a discussion I want to have with you guys about the Sacramento Kings in this offseason and, what the guys are up to.
Okay. All right. So we have that coming up. It was great to watch football. Did you see the commercial for Fanatics? I think it's they're selling jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
NFL shop. And they have this family, and they're getting ready to watch the Giants game. Did you see this? And it's the mother and the father and all the kids. And they're getting ready to watch the game. They're all gathered in front of the couch. And one of the little girls comes into the room, and she's wearing an Eagles jersey.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
She goes, where Saquon goes, I go.
Right. I saw that. Maybe the biggest heist in all of football. Rivaling a la Herschel Walker,
Wow.
Saquon checks so many boxes for the Eagles. I mean, it's night and day what they had last year versus this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have a surprise team yet? And if you do, you don't have to share it, because we've been asking all our football guests, who's your surprise team this year? And we've had everybody from Arizona, right, to let's see, a couple of Washington mentions.
Washington's,
I have one I'm looking at, but I'm not there yet, and I certainly don't want to
say it. Say it, Whitey. Say it.
No, I'm not committed to it yet, and it could.
It better not be Denver Broncos.
No.
Oh, all right. I was about to say Bo Nix has been looking mighty spicy there in the preseason so far.
What was he, 8 for 9 last night?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he was sweet. He was sweet.
But do you have one? Again, like I said, you don't have to share it if you do. I'm not all the way sold.
I'm
yet.
not all the way. Yeah, I'm
all
with
right.
you. I got a team that I like. I need to see more, because I'm a big fan of this quarterback, but I got to see a little more. Let me get to the third preseason game.
All right.
Is that all right?
Let's see if I can figure that out. Preseason last night, who was working out the rust? A quarterback working out some rust last night was Tom Brady. He was there because he's going to be doing the games on Fox. He'll be their number one. Last night, though, it was Adam Amin and Mark Sanchez and Christina Pink, and it was great seeing our friend Mike Pereira in the booth.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, but Tom Brady was there with Kevin Burkhardt. They were doing a practice play-by-play. Have you ever done one of those?
Just an audition. Actually, I have. You know what? I did one with in basketball at the Chase Center. Me and Jarrell Wright.
Oh, okay.
Actually did like a side-by-side like ghost broadcast. It was Warriors and Memphis Grizzlies game.
Yeah?
Yeah, in Chase Center. We were up in the media seating there and had our headphones on.
So no one was really hearing it, right? You were just...
Yeah, it was just for in-house.
So weird.
Yeah. I don't know if it was I think it was they got some new equipment they wanted to try out or something like that. But yeah, so I did that. And I did the audition, obviously, with the Kings as well.
I've done one or two like practice shows. They're terrible because it's like, this isn't real. What do you want me to do?
Right. Yeah, exactly. You could feel it, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
come on, guys.
It's just not the same. It's hard to recreate that. The anxiousness, the nervousness, the energy. It's hard to recreate that.
I guess they tried to reproduce everything. After the 49ers won, somebody asked Kyle Shanahan if he conducted a production meeting with Brady before the game, and he said, I guess like a pretend one.
A fake production meeting?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, come on in, Tom. We got to do the fake production meeting.
Yeah, that's pretty weird, man. It got to be hard though. Like you said, if you're Tom Brady, I understand you're fired up and everything first, but it's not real. Like, and if you make a mistake, my bad, guys, my bad. Let's, what did you think of Shanahan's mullet though? Did you see his hair?
I just saw his hair and I thought, man, a little shaggy there.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't
is
realize
that Kyle Shanahan? Like, it threw me off. I'm like, he doesn't have a mullet like that, does he? And I guess I was like, man,
I thought I needed a haircut, which I do. I saw, I was like, whoa,
right.
Preseason look.
His was flowing out the back there. Yeah,
I've seen him before, where he had just, a lot of those guys like McVay and Zach Taylor with the Bengals, and they just get, they look great. They look like they just went to the barber. Shanahan, when he does it, it doesn't look right.
You don't like
he
the
has
clean
to look
cut,
with him. It looks like he's just more like, I'm coaching the football game. I don't give.
I ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
I ain't worried about personal appearance. Or anything like that.
Give me my hat. Get out of my way. Let me coach the game.
Yeah, that threw me off last night watching it for a little bit. They kept zooming in, and I was like, "Is that a little shag in the back or whatever it is?"
Yeah. So they did the fake meeting with Brady. And then he said, we did one with Mark and those guys too. It was good. Always fun to talk to the GOAT. Just think how close he came to actually being the quarterback of that team.
And did you see him? Yep. Did you see some of the social media, like him just greeting everybody, saying hi to everybody? He looked comfortable there. He dapped up everybody. It looked like, he was coming home, if you will, being back there in Santa Clara. It looked like he belonged there. And do you think he'll do a great job in that role?
I think he'll be okay. The one thing that makes me think he might be good is he's already, like he was at the Fanatics Fest on Friday, and he took a shot at Daniel Jones, like out of nowhere.
Did he? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah. And it's just like, man, if he's doing that now,
right,
it's going to be hard for him to hold back if that's really how he feels. So I think he might be unafraid to take shots at people. So that would be very interesting.
He might have some viral, clickable moments. Things that.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll be excellent at it. I really do, because knowing Tom and having covered him in New England, this dude is the ultimate preparation guy. Like he knows what he's getting into. You know what I mean? And when you look at everything he does, seems to work out. It's like, remember the roast that they had on, even though he took that like a champ, though. You know what I mean? Even going up and telling, I forget the comedian's name, Jeffrey, I forget his name, but telling
Ross?
him Jeff Ross, telling him to lay off Robert Kraft. That was well delivered, and so I just think this guy is just too good to fail right now. And the thing about Tom Brady, when I look at a guy like Tony Romo started off excellent, right? He was great. But after a while, it's like his shtick was kind of.
Did he get worse, or did we just get tired of
I think
what
we got tired of it. And I don't think Tom has a shtick, if you will, like Romo does. I think Tom is just being Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think he's as annoying or, gets tired. We won't get tired of him.
Quarterbacks can be really good analysts and really informative because watching on TV, and I think Mark Sanchez did it last night, we can't see everything necessarily. So sometimes a guy will throw a completion on the sideline or throw it incomplete, and the quarterback can say, he had so-and-so wide open. And when you're at the game, you can see that. But when you're watching on TV, you can't always see that.
Right. You can't see that. Yeah, you're right about that. And I just think, where Tony Romo was great and is great is through the eyes of the quarterback, the routes, where guys should be. And I think, to your point, quarterbacks make great analysts because they know where everybody on the field is supposed to be.
Yeah, the good quarterbacks, and maybe even the ones that aren't very good, but guys who've done a long time, they understand more about the situations than we do.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, it's going to be fun to watch. And I wish we would have got to hear him last night.
Yeah.
It's like, I know that tape is out there somewhere.
Boy, it is.
Maybe a leak, right? That'd be sweet.
Yeah, so the 49ers get the win last night. Josh Dobbs was the hero? I don't know. Some good news for the 49ers with so many young players playing well, but obviously we don't know anything about the 49ers until they get all their players back. And not just the guys that are unsigned. I mean, they have to get their defensive line back on the field too.
Yeah.
And the receivers and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every player that, can make an impact has been out so far for the Niners. They've had some people play, obviously, but you're right. The defensive line hasn't been whole. Linebackers, secondary, offensive line. So every position is being affected here. That's why I think Friday's game is so important. Kyle Shanahan, reportedly said guys will, his A-list guys, whether it's Debo is going to play. We could see Tricky Ricky P this week as well. And so I think Friday's game will get a much more truer test, a view of what this team is right now.
We're getting there, but the opener is not until it's still 3 weeks from today.
Yeah.
And that still seems to me like a little long. I mean, that's close, I know, but 3 more weeks. Because then you have that 1 week where there's nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, I was about to say, how about that? You got your final preseason game and then more than 2 weeks of nothing. And so whether it's injuries, rust, or whatever, guys will have time to get back for that game. What, September 9th, I believe it is? Yes. And so even what we see on Friday, guys can have 2 weeks off then. It's like it doesn't make, I'm ready for the games to start. Like these preseason, I was against the NFL going to 18 games, but if that means shortening the preseason, Whitey,
right,
I'm okay with it. I just think these preseason games, you saw it too. What did you think of the attendance out there? Did you see the stands and everything? It was pretty empty.
Depended on the
field wasn't
shot.
ready.
Yeah,
they
no
didn't have
logos.
no logos on the field.
That was
It's
crazy.
like, what are we doing here, man? So
I'm surprised that any decent crowd shows up for those preseason games. And I believe if you buy season tickets, you have to get
tickets.
that. When I had season tickets for the Kings, that was a way you had to get the preseason games too. But if any decent crowd at a preseason game, to me, I feel like good for you. You're good fans.
Yeah, exactly. You're showing up, supporting your team. But it was dreadful, man. Did you see real quick too when the Fox did their open of this game? There were logos on the field.
Really?
Yeah. So it seemed like they used like an old pre-produced kind of, wide shot of the stadium.
I know the open was getting panned a little bit on social media.
Was it?
It's not a great open.
Yeah. Who was there? Carissa Thompson?
Yes,
Julian
with Julian
Edelman. Yeah, that wasn't. I watched that.
That wasn't it?
Nah, that wasn't it. That was not it.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. When we come back, Drapes has an inside look at what's going on with the Kings for us. Next, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Don't miss the action as the Kings celebrate 40 years in Sacramento, with this season poised to be the most exciting one yet. It all tips off on opening night at Golden One Center on Thursday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Timberwolves. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, new addition DeMar DeRozan, and all of your Sacramento Kings take the court at thekings.com/tickets to secure your seat for the action.
Shop Big O Tires now through August 27th and buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nitto, Nexen, National, or Sumitomo brand tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper, and I want to tell you about my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They have a friendly staff, a trustworthy service department, and of course, a huge selection of vehicles. And from now till September 3rd, they're looking to make your dreams come true. That's right. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton Dream Days event is going on right now. So go check out their special offers on the 2024 C-Class sedan or a 2024 GLE SUV. It's just a short drive right off the 5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
My kids call me Tom. So unnerving. Every day, the older one's like, "How you doing, Tom?" I go, "Hey, I'm not your fucking stepdad, all right? I wish I was. It'd be a lot easier, but I'm not."
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Tom Segura brings his new tour, Come Together, to the venue at Thunder Valley September 5th. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Tom Segura, Come Together.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports, your home of the 49ers, victorious last night. Preseason win over the Saints. And your home of course, the Sacramento Kings. Kyle Draper has some Kings information he wishes to share with us at this time.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know what it is.
No, I mean, it's just I'm ready for my guys to get back. I'm ready for this season to begin. I was over at Phenom and Doco, the sneaker store. Shout out to them. I had to get laced up. Got some new drip for the season, some new sneakers I'm going to be unveiling once the season began. And typically, August is like quiet time in the NBA. Guys go on vacation, stuff like that. But I know our guys are coming back to Sac, starting to begin, some workouts. And I got word of some of the guys that they're working out with in the gym. And usually I wouldn't bring this up because you hear, all right, they got this guy, but these are some pretty big names, that they're including in their pickup runs, really just working out. I don't know about trying them out or anything like that, but these are pickup runs, stay in condition.
And this is a Kings they're organizing?
Yeah,
these?
Kings, some of the players are back from their vacations or whatever. They're in the gym right now. And I bring this up because these names were so interesting. Tony Bradley.
Okay.
Juan Toscano Anderson.
JTA.
Lonnie Walker.
Ooh.
Isaiah Thomas.
Nice.
The pizza guy, Jay, is working out with the Kings, really just to, they bring guys in to keep them in shape and things like that, play full court pickup and stuff like that. But I'm like, these are high-level players, especially I'm a big fan of Lonnie Walker. What he did with the Lakers a couple of years ago when they went to the Western Conference Finals, he was huge for them. We all know and love Isaiah Thomas, but the fact that these guys are in town working out in the Kings organization right now, it's exciting for me, man. And, I would love if some of those guys to be on the squad, but it's, just an update on what guys are up to, man, and who we have coming in to work out.
Isaiah Thomas was at the Fresno Pro-Am, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. IT was there. And, here's the thing about Isaiah Thomas, and Jay know and Whitey know. This guy's been a fan favorite wherever he's been. Boston, they love him. Here in Sacramento, they love him. He's amazing on social media. The thing I like, too, about Isaiah Thomas, certain guys are just hoopers that whether they're 25 or 55, they're going to be balling. I throw Jamal Crawford in that mix also. IT will, tweet out, yo, where's the pickup run at? I'm pulling up, that kind of thing. And so I'm rooting for that guy because, he's a tremendous talent, tremendous fan favorite, especially here in Sac, As we go through our top 40 of all time, and I narrowed mine down, I got 39 locks on my list. Yeah, 39
You're not moving?
locks.
They're in concrete?
I mean, I'm going to look at the other 30 or so,
okay.
but you got to come up, with some impressive credentials if you're going to make my top 40. But
speaking of lists, I'll just say this.
39.
You and I have been doing this show coming up on a year, and it's certainly one of the best moments of the last year was when you went down on the floor and started talking to Isaiah Thomas.
Oh,
yeah.
Jay, we got to pull that,
man.
Yeah. We got to pull that, man.
That's
we got to pull
love.
that
I
because I was nervous as heck. I was nervous because I have been doing all that talking, Whitey. I'm like, if IT's in town, I'm getting them. And I'm walking down the steps and I'm seeing him. I'm trying to be respectful of his pregame warm-up and everything. I know Jay's in studio like, this dude ain't going to get him. Watch, he going to sell out. He going to strike out.
I was talking low, man.
I know you are.
And I did initiate some of the conversation to be bigger than what it really was, too.
Yeah, you did.
Like I was pushing.
You're hyping it up a little bit.
We had that live as you were down there trying to get him.
Yeah. And I didn't hear that. I want to hear what you guys said. We may have to go in the archives, Jay, and pull that and replay that or something. But
you know what I meant? We were talking to, I think we were talking to Tom Chambers.
Oh yeah.
While you were doing, and we had to cut it short. Okay, thanks. Because we had to because you had Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. So no, that's my guy, man. And I'm glad we buried the hatchet. You know, we're all good now. Yeah. And the fact that he's in Sac, Jay, we may have to reach out again, get him to come on or something like that.
Does Lonnie Walker make any roster sense? He's a good shooter, but the backcourt's so crowded and he's only 6'4".
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. What's his height? 6'4", 6'5"? Like, I don't know if he's a 3. You're already small.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
It for me, it doesn't. I feel like we need some more size and length, if you will. But if you would have asked me this 2 months ago, maybe, you know, because he's a tough, hard-nosed player, man. And like I said, what he showed me during that Western Conference playoff run, I think he had that one game where he had 18 or 22 or something like that off the bench. Like, he was huge in that series. And so I like him as a player. I think he finds a home in the NBA, a team, but I can't see it with Sac.
And speaking of roster additions, De'Aaron Fox has a addition.
How about that? Yeah,
roster,
Foxy with a little baby girl announced this week on social media. I forgot the name. I'm sorry, De'Aaron. I know you're listening right now. But yeah, baby number 2. So Rasay gonna have her hands full courtside with Rain and now the new baby Fox daughter for De'Aaron Fox. So shout out to him.
Mm-hmm. And did you see that the Sixers are talking to a guy? Apparently, they're very interested in Yabusele.
Gershon Yabusele.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited about it, too. Says it makes sense. And oh, yeah, Poppy. Everybody's saying on social media, De'Aaron Fox's daughter's name, Poppy. Thanks so much, guys. I'm going to be honest with you regarding Gershon Yabusele. I had him in Boston. Nice kid. Good guy. He was fun. But he just wasn't ready. And so the Gershon Yabusele I remember was the one from Boston. And so when I see him for Team France, I'm like, nah, this dude he ain't going to do nothing. We're going to lock him up. And then he dunked on LeBron and he had like 22 or whatever it was. And I'm like, damn, he's gotten himself in shape. And so, no, I think it's a solid move for them, even though, I don't give him a whole lot of credit. But he's transformed his game from the 16th overall pick that the Celtics made him years back.
According to CBS Sports, Yabusele to sign 1-year deal with the Sixers, according to report. I've also seen that they're very interested. $2.1 million.
Yeah, I don't understand that, right?
From the Kings, I was like, I don't know if I want him, but given my lack of size, $2.1 million, I'd definitely look into that.
Yeah.
Sounds like that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I thought he was making more overseas than that. Like, it doesn't sound 2.1 million. Like, he was big overseas. I just don't get it. But more depth for the Sixers. I think they've had a tremendous offseason, building that roster out. And, if he could be your 7th, 8th man, big man off the bench, why not?
Can I ask you another question about your top 39? And I know we're going to
reveal it.
So is that okay, Jay, if I ask him, or do we
No, you got to be a little careful. Depending on where you're at. Depends on what you're asking.
Yeah,
I just want to know if there's a birthday boy today.
Too much information.
Too much.
Man.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying.
Move on.
No comment.
Monday, August 26, 41 through 50 starts. Our honorable mention, technically.
All right. Honorable mention.
Top 40 begins Thursday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Keegan. What is he, 24 now?
Been here 2 years. Is that enough to be one of the 40 for 40?
Hey, everybody's criteria is different. Might be for yours, might not be for mine. I don't know. Like, come on, you giving away your list.
Well, I didn't say anything.
You're giving away, dude. That's next week. That's next week, right? What do you mean you didn't say anything? I
didn't
heard
say
you.
anything.
I heard you. Oh, man. No, it's. I will tell you this as, we get ready for it next week. I probably have a list of about 60 something that could have been.
So that's where you started. Your original was 60 something.
Yeah, exactly.
How was that all off the top of your head? Did you go through things?
No, I went through Basketball Reference.
Yeah,
year by year. I looked at the rosters year by year. and said, all right, how about this guy? And there were some guys I totally forgot about. Like, I mean, you look at, we've talked about this before, like 2 degrees of separation when it comes to the Sacramento Kings. It seems like everybody at one point or another played in Sacramento. I mean, you know, let me see, like Derek Smith, for instance. I forgot Derek Smith played. You know, I knew him from Philly. You know, he played with the Sixers. I totally forgot he played out here in Sacramento. So there are a number of guys. I was like, dang, he played for Sac too. So no, it's man, I'm looking at my list. I think this is the list, fellas.
You're going with that 39? So where's the 40?
No, I'll add one more. I'm saying all my guys should be locks on your list too.
Ooh.
Like that's what I'm saying. I got it right. You know what I mean?
I understand. I understand the LeBron of the station when he says something like that. I understand
what I mean.
Did you and Drapes this is something we'll talk about this week. And White, did you work from the back to the front or front to the back?
I have not ranked them yet.
You have not ranked them yet. So you just kind of like, these are my guys, and then I'm going to rank them.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I'll be honest. I started from the front to the back.
Oh, you went from 1 to 2.
Yeah, and I'm only 15 or whatever, but I started like this guy's number 1, this dude's number 2. Like I don't even need to look at stats.
Okay.
And then maybe I got to about 4 or 5 and I was like, yeah, okay, let me start looking at a few stats. But yeah, I started from the front because I'm like, the back is going to be a little tough.
I know I was thinking when we do the reveal, obviously you start at the bottom and then you end with number 1. But with this list, and on, like I said, I know that's how we're going to do it. You already know who the first 3 or so are, but it's the guys that barely squeeze in there at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
That's where the drama really is.
Right. Yes, it is going to be.
Like number 41. Oh, you guys didn't have him on that list?
Right.
He should have been top 40 for sure. And so, and there will be somebody that's like 49 or 55 or not even in our top 50. Could you leave out this guy? And so, no, I'm looking forward to this one, man. This was a good exercise.
There's always a college football thing, right?
Yeah.
How did this team miss?
Yeah.
Sources tell me that.
Sources tell me Drapes has 39 because with the 40 spot, Jay, he thought he knew what he was going to do, but after you made the case for Marvin Bagley on Friday, I think he's
the third is in there.
He's still like, oh boy, I don't know. I got to think about that more. I hadn't thought about that.
14 and 7.5. Baby.
Are you serious?
14 and 7.5. I'm just going with it.
Let me just say, I did cross out some guys who are definitely like, I did my top 60, and then I'm starting to cross out guys like, nah, he's not
there.
And Bagley, sorry, Jay, it's too much negativity. It's too much PTSD with Marvin Bagley. I can't do it.
I made it that far down my list, so I don't know where he's at.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Conversation continues when we come back. Also, we'll look at whether playing Brock Purdy last night, was that even a good idea? So Drive Guys roll on Sactown Sports.
Hi, this is Frank LaRosa.
And this is Scott Marsh.
Join us weekly for Golf to Go right here on Sactown Sports. We talk to all the local golf experts in the area and give you the latest on all the courses as well.
And not to mention all the golf legends and celebrities, along with all the latest in equipment and tournaments too.
Most importantly, we'll just have some fun talking about a game that's fun to play.
You know, it's my favorite hour of the week, Frank.
Golf to Go, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports. Give us a listen. I think you'll enjoy it. When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
What else you do this weekend, Drapes? Jay, what'd you have going on? Golfing? Anything?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm finishing up my Chomps beef stick. Yeah, golf yesterday morning. Play
good plug, by the way.
Yeah.
You could have just said I got some jerky, but I'm finishing up my Chomps beef stick.
You never know who's listening, big fella. You never know who's listening. But I'm big into pickleball now too.
Really?
Huge into pickleball. Like I played 5 times last week. Like that's my thing right now. So I played with my son, hung out with the kids. What did we do Saturday? Oh, my daughter had jamboree, cheer jamboree. So it was out at the football field. Yeah.
I'm sure I'm wrong. I think I've said this before. I'm sure I'm wrong, but I believe that I would be the greatest pickleball player of all time. When I watch it, it's one of those things. And like I said, I'm sure I'm wrong. I watch it and I think, man, I would never lose a game of pickleball.
I don't know, man. You got reflexes. You got to have good, quick, cat-like reflexes.
The third baseman reflexes, still got some of those, yeah.
And they be putting a spin on the ball. Like, I played with a group, and they were, like, upper level, like, really good. Like, there's a ranking system when it comes to pickleball. I think 5.0 is the highest you can get. They were, like, a 4.3, 4. And, dude, their serve, put the spin on it, man, it had me tripping over my feet, man. But I'm hooked right now.
The serve is underhand, right?
Yeah, it's underhand.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize they put
spin. You could do spin. I mean, you could, but you could do a forehand,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be,
I know.
It up. Like,
here you go, honey.
This ain't badminton now, But yeah, man. So I did some pickleball this week.
Jay, with your baseball reflexes, don't you feel like you would be dominant in pickleball if you chose to play?
Jay don't even consider it a sport. Look at him back there. I know he's salty.
He's checking something. Yeah. Jay, pickleball. You be a dominant pickleball player? Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
You got Jose interrupting the show. Jose, head back to the office, big fella. We
Boss man's doing his job, man.
We trying to do a show here, man. Messing things up here. That's all right. Man, I tell you what.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. See if we can get a call on the air here. John, Sactown Sports. What's up, John?
Not much, man. I was just wondering, I know Kyle likes John Collins. And I don't think the Jazz will actually trade John Collins for like a Kevin Huerter or like a Jalen McDaniels. I was thinking just possibly signing like a Thon Maker or like a Matt Tormaker or even Damian Jones, who's an ex-King. What do you think? Who would you rather choose between those three?
Thanks, John. Thanks for hanging on. What do you think, Drapes?
I like Damian Jones. I like Damian Jones when he was here. Shot blocker. Lob threat, good locker room guy. I'm a huge fan of Damian Jones. He would be exactly what we need. It seemed like every time he got in the game, he had an impact, did something positive. My problem, though, is I don't think the Kings are going to use any more money. I don't think they're going to sign anybody in terms of free agency or use that mid-level, if you will. I think the moves they make might become by way of trade if it happens. Or maybe a vet minimum or somebody like that. But, nobody that's worth the mid-level or full mid-level. I personally like Damian Jones. I think Damian Jones is a perfect fit for this team. He's been on some winning teams with the Lakers before. And he's a lob threat, man. That vertical spacing that I think we need.
Here's the only problem I have with Damian Jones. I remember a few years ago talking to Saint about him. Like, the Warriors should get Damian Jones. Every time I watch him play, he seems to play reasonably well, but he never stays in one place. Warriors 3 years, Atlanta, Phoenix, Lakers, Sacramento, a year and a half, whatever it was, Lakers, Utah, Cleveland.
Yeah, it don't make sense. Why
something's not right there. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but there's something, obviously to me, there's something lacking. If a guy who has as much ability as we know he does can't stay in one place very long.
I just don't know. And that's a great point, Whitey, because you're right. He's been all over the place. But look at his 1 year in sack, his last year in sack, where he
8 points a game and 4 rebounds.
Yeah, in 18 minutes. That's
66% from the floor.
Yeah, what more do we want from the guy? You know what I mean? And so I just don't know.
Even shot 35% from three.
Exactly. Knocked down some threes too. And so that's my point. It's like, I don't understand, to your point, why he keeps bouncing around. Like, I would like to see him get 2 or 3, years somewhere. And the thing is, he's 29 now, though. He's starting to get up there in age, and I just don't get it. That's a great point. Great question. Why does this guy keep bouncing around?
And he's done a nice job for himself. He's had a nice long career. But before I was going to commit to him, I'd want to know, hey, what's up with this? What's the deal here?
Right. 8-year NBA career. for Damian Jones. You know, if you asked anybody, sure, I would take that. But this guy's been bouncing around and never really got a shot. And in fact, when you look at it, Whitey, that second year in Sacramento, the most games he's played, 56 games. But he was highly effective in that short time that he played. 8.1 points. Wow.
Thaumaturge, I don't know.
I don't know much about those guys. You know, here's what I do know about Thon Maker. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks, and I'm thinking it might have been a playoff game against the Celtics. He went off. He was talking trash, hit a couple of threes, barking. And so from that point, like that was encouraging. But he hasn't been able to stick anywhere.
Right.
Why not? You know, this is a guy who's only 27, 7-footer, can knock down a three. I've seen him do it. You know, his rookie year in Milwaukee, close to 38%. I don't know why this guy can't stick in the NBA. Hasn't played in the NBA since 2020-21 season.
Here's something I think we need to keep in mind, and I'm hoping you can help me out with this to help me clarify. When it comes to bigs, you know, we look at the Kings need size. This is a guy who's big, therefore the Kings should get him. But, you know, a big in this system, there are certain things that they're looking for you to do.
Yeah.
Like dribble, DHO, you got to be, and I know, like, you know, you can always, if the guy's going to be right at the end of the bench, maybe he doesn't have to be that good at things. But in this system, they have certain things from the center, so you have to keep in mind.
And that's the thing, you know, Alex Len, he can play that way. Like, you know, I think that's an underrated part of Alex Len's game, you know, the dribble handoff game. Alex Len can play, you know, above the rim, solid offensively, very solid defensively. And so I do think, you know, when you look at it, like you said, if you bring in a big, he has to be able to handle and pass a little bit. You know, like, can't be a black hole or anything like that. Can't be a turnover machine or anything like that. And so, no, you're right about it. I think it takes a certain person to fit into this system.
And that's just the fact of the matter that gets lost in the shuffle sometimes when we look at roster decisions. We touched on this earlier, getting back to Brock Purdy and the 49ers. Was playing him a good idea last night?
No. This was a failure, a malpractice, if you will, from a coaching standpoint. Like, and I'm not the only one. When everybody, even Niners fans, are like, why is Brock out there without anybody of his, you know, number one options, number one weapons, banged up offensive line? Why would you have your franchise quarterback out there? I don't know one person. And did Shanahan talk about this yesterday, guys? I didn't get to hear the post game yesterday about this. But why would you play him in that situation? And I said it in our first hour. It was like he was set up to fail. It's like, you know, going 5-on-5 in the NBA, but you got your star player out there with a bunch of, you know, lifetime Folsom all-stars. It ain't going to work. You're not going to win. I just don't get it.
Here's the answer to your question. After the game, Shanahan asked why he chose to keep Purdy. Not only why did he start him, why did he choose to keep him in the contest, despite the absence of so many team players, according to 49erswebzone.com. Quote, just thought it'd be good for him to get a couple drives in. We were hoping it would be one long drive just to get him out, similar to what Brendan Allen had last week. But we had, I think it was 2 3 and out, so I didn't want to go past that. I think it's good for quarterbacks to get in. Felt good with the guys that were in there, and we're pretty conservative with what we did with him, and I felt Brock kind of wanted to do it. Purdy said, they asked me if I wanted to play, and I said, yeah, I'd like to get out there and get a feel for it, end quote. So reading between the lines, you know, I'm still not an expert when it comes to speaking Shanahanese, but I think he's saying we hoped it was going to go better. We were trying to leave him in so we could take him out on a positive note.
Right, exactly. The plan might have been 2 series, and then we saw how bad the first 2 were. All right, let's give him one more, and that was bad. And so, and for him to say, you know, Brock to say, they asked me if I wanted to play. What's a player supposed to say, right? Like if, you know, hey, coach says, Kyle, you want to go in the game? Hell yeah, I want to go in the game. Like, is he supposed to say, nah, I don't want to play? It doesn't make sense. And why was Brock the one that got to play? But Debo didn't. Other guys didn't. It just didn't. Jawan Jennings didn't play. Like, what are we doing out here?
Purdy said, I think it was good just to get out there, get a feel for obviously the game speed, getting hit, trying to go through reads and stuff, and just get the feel again. It wasn't as productive as I would have liked to have been myself, but that's why it's preseason. Get out there and get a feel like that. And Shanahan said, yeah, Purdy's going to play again on Friday.
Yeah, I mean.
Against the Raiders.
I wonder if Purdy would have played great, marched him down a couple of scoring drives. Does he play him again on Friday? Usually, when they had 4 preseason games, the third was the dress rehearsal, and then the fourth. Like, what is it now, Whitey? Does Shanahan usually play guys in the third preseason game? It's weird, right?
Right. It looks like you're going to play him a little bit. And Shanahan was also asked last night, did you think about taking him out after a couple of big hits? Because he did get knocked around. And Shanahan said, you think about that all the time, but it's also part of football.
Man, he left his quarterback out there to get his bell rung.
If we felt he was in a tough situation, we wouldn't have. But a lot of quarterbacks play throughout the league, and each week's different. I think it helps Brock to play. Last year, he didn't get to as much with his arm. I thought it was good for him to get out there, even though it wasn't 2 great drives. So he felt, and the coach also felt apparently like, let's get him out there a little bit. It's good for him. If it goes well or not. He protects himself.
Yeah, he does, right? Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing, though.
Bad idea, and they dodged the bullet.
Right. That's exactly it, Whitey. Because if you wanted to get him out there, I get it. But give him some weapons to play with. Don't get him out there with guys that won't even be on the team.
One or the other, right? I mean, ideally both. But if you're not going to get him weapons, get him somebody who can block
for him at least, man. Yeah, he hung him out to dry on that. He dodged a bullet, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of quarterbacks getting hurt, do you think more or less of the Raiders' new starting quarterback after hearing this bizarre story that maybe you've heard before? This was a new one to me. It's next on Sactown Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards. Rent is due. Bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to gotloans.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
Gotloans.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news. I went to gotloans.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Whoa, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to gotloans.com. That's gotloans.com. Gotloans.com.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town.
What was I thinking? I'm getting drunk all the
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by RVs of Sacramento and Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Experience a golf tournament as refined as you are. The Pro Court Championship at Silverado Resort, September 12th through the 15th. Be there as the best of Napa meets the best of the PGA Tour. With world-class wine experiences, breathtaking views, and incredible golf. It's like this weekend was made for you. The Pro Court Championship, September 12th through the 15th. For tickets, go to ProCourtChampionship.com.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Tribe Guys on Sactown Sports.
As we get ready at some point here before the season starts to name our surprise NFL teams, I want to make sure I have the guidelines clear. If a team didn't make the playoffs last year, and I thought this team is going to make the playoffs, would that qualify? Or does it have to be, if a team had a winning record and I say, they're going to be good, it's like, well, that's not really a surprise, right? The Saints is a team I'm asking you about, and that's not the team I was talking about earlier. Would the Saints be a surprise team? Because I think they were, 9-8 last year, but they missed the playoffs. So that's not really, unless you're going to say they're going to win it all, that's not really a surprise team.
Yeah,
right?
that's not. Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. When you look at a team like the Saints, like you said, they could go 10-7 and make the playoffs. Is that a surprise? Like, what level of
right.
We need either you're a bottom feeder and you make the playoffs, or you're outside the playoffs in a Super Bowl contender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it can't be, they'll win 2 more games or something like that.
The team I was thinking of, I'll tell you.
Oh, you going on record now with it?
No,
okay.
I'm telling you, I'm on record. This was the team I was thinking of, but I don't think they're going to be my pick because, among other reasons, I think they have the toughest schedule in the NFL. New England. But I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
All right.
All right? Just so we're clear, I'm not. I'm looking for a surprise team.
Like, what was like if you were choosing New England as your surprise team, what would a surprise be for them? They were 4-13 last season.
To be a legitimate surprise team, they'd probably have to have a winning record or make the playoffs, and you probably have to have a winning record at least to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so I see why you're backpedaling on New England.
I'm not backpedaling because I never said I was picking them. That's not backpedaling.
They look awful, though, so far during the preseason. But okay. All right.
Like their young quarterback.
Yeah, but that's about all they got. They ain't got nobody to throw to. Got rid of their best defensive player.
Like the McCourty brothers doing games.
Right, that's what it is. Broadcast-wise, they're at top of the notch there.
It's looking like a number of quarterbacks have been named as starters on their teams. We'll take a look at those as we go forward here the rest of this hour. Interesting news here. Teams starting to make their decisions. Other teams still trying to decide. One team that has made the decision, the Raiders, a team the 49ers are playing this week. Some are surprised by this. Gardner Minshew is the man.
Minshew Mania is back, right? I mean,
Aiden O'Connell and Minshew supposedly were neck and neck. Remember Antonio Pierce a week ago or 2 weeks ago or so said, looking for somebody to grab the bull by the horns. Right. A lot of people thought Aiden O'Connell had the inside track, but it's Gardner Minshew with the starting job.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You know, we've seen Minshew mania before. We've seen him in spot duties. Here's the thing, fellas. I thought you were trying to compete for a Super Bowl. I'm not saying the Raiders are a Super Bowl, but who's the quarterback that gives you the best chance long term? I thought they went all in on Aiden O'Connell last year. You know, Jimmy G was out. Aiden got to make room for Aiden O'Connell. You know, he needs to be starting. Now he gets beat out by Gardner Minshew also. And they didn't draft the quarterback? What are they doing there? And I was about to say Oakland and Vegas. What are they? It just doesn't make sense. Minshew Mania, I'm looking at his numbers. You know, 17 games last year for the Colts. Solid numbers, but only 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 62%. That's not that good.
No, as a backup, though, which is what he was last year, that's pretty solid.
But he started 13 games.
Yes.
Started 13 games last year.
Got hurt, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is a journeyman, if you will. Even, you know, he played 2 years with my Eagles, obviously. His best year was his rookie year. 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions with Jacksonville. Since then, he hasn't done anything. To me, it shows me they have a quarterback problem that they just did not address. And I'm an Antonio Pierce guy. I love Antonio Pierce. I wish him well. But you're not going to win with Gardner Minshew.
By the way, sidebar, did you see, speaking of Jacksonville, whom you just mentioned, Mac Jones supposedly is like,
he's tearing it up out there?
He's playing well, and he's comfortable, you know.
Really?
I don't know, backing up Trevor Lawrence, which is the
pressure is off.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
the pressure is off.
Jay, don't you think that Gardner Minshew, he seems like a Raider to me. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's Stabler or Rich Gannon. But to me, Gardner Minshew's like, that guy's like an old school Raider.
I can see that. He does kind of have the feel and the look, right, fellas? Like any play. One thing about Gardner is he's like Tim. You just don't know what you're going to get every week. Every time Tim picks up the phone, we're hit on the roulette wheel. That's kind of Gardner. Like he'll electrify 2-3. He's like an insanity, and then all of a sudden he'll bring you right back to reality. Where man, those 2 weeks were rough.
And typically a guy like that is a pretty good backup, right?
Yes. Josh Dobbs. Look what happened last year.
Like Fitzmagic.
Cooked a little bit.
Like sometimes he's really good, but he's good coming out of the bullpen. But as a starter, it's a little surprising. I guess Aiden O'Connell must have just been kind of
right. He must be horrible, right? Like just it's like they tried to hand him the keys to the castle, talking about Aiden O'Connell, and he turned them down. He said, "Nope, I'm not ready for it." He's 25. Gardner Minshew's also 25, if I'm correct. No, he's a little older, guys. Just pulled it up here. Gardner Minshew is 28. Excuse me, just turned 28 back in May. But it's not going well for them.
I didn't remember this story. Vic Tafer, the great Vic Tafer. We could get Vic Tafer on sometime. He just wrote a profile in The Athletic of Gardner Minshew, and he told the story about how Gardner Minshew, when he was at East Carolina, he wanted a red shirt because he wasn't going to play, and he wanted another year eligibility, and he knew, I'm just going to sit here and back this guy up. I want to play another year. What am I going to do? And he realized, I've got to get a medical red shirt, but I got to get it before the next game. So what he did was he took a hammer
my gosh,
and took a few shots of Jack Daniels. And there's audio somewhere. We can find it where he explains how he did this. And he tried to break his hand.
What?
Yeah. Find the audio it's in
our text chain.
I sent it to you earlier. And he admits, and I assume he tried to break his left hand. And he bam, bam, bam. And he says he could tell it wasn't broken. So ultimately, after 9 hits with the hammer, he was unsuccessful in breaking his hand, and he gave up. He said, it's not as easy as you might think to break your hand. It was really swollen for a couple of weeks. When the coaches asked what happened, I told them I slammed it in a door by mistake. Then I think it was later. Let's see. It was before his senior year at Washington State. Mike Leach told each senior, you got to address the team. So Minshew used the story as an example of dedication. He says, I told him what I did, and I was like, this is what I would do for more football. What would you do? How much does this mean to you? Because it means everything to me. So he tried to break his hand with a hammer, and he wasn't able to do it. You think more of him or less of him?
I think he fits in with the Raiders.
That's it. That's it.
I think that's a Raiders quarterback, if you will. I don't know, man. I applaud his love of the game. I applaud his love of football.
That guy's not wired right.
You got to be off to try to break your hand, and actually do it, like hitting yourself with a hand. After the first time, I'm like, nah, this hurts too much. I can't do it.
If you gave me enough money to do it, I guarantee you I'll break my hand with a hammer. I mean, he says it's
what's
too
enough
hard
money? What's enough money? Here we go.
Gardner
What's enough money, Gardner?
Oh, a break is like a fracture, right? I mean,
no, just tiny. Like you gotta.
I mean, my point is, forget how much money. Don't you think you could break your hand with a hammer if you really wanted to? Look at that! Look at your hand. Yeah, I know it would hurt. But he was trying to do it.
No, he probably was just like little hits or something like that, right? Like he wasn't like ouch, yeah.
Ow. You want to hear? Let's hear some of Gardner Minshew explaining how he tried to break his hand.
Here's a story. The only group of people I ever told was the Washington State football team before this last year. And it was just about, what would you do to be able to play more football? And so it was back when I was at East Carolina. It was my first year there. I went there from junior college, and the situation was I had 2 seniors above me, so I was hoping to go in redshirt and then be able to play 3. It's an awesome setup, So we get into about game 4, and we moved our backup to running back because he's our best running back. And then the starter, he got knocked out with concussion. So shoot, I'm standing there. I go in, play about a half, and then we get in for the next week, and starter's going to be back. So I'm like, dang, man, I just played a half, where I really wasted a year on playing a half the ball, So I was pretty pissed, and, man, I started kind of looking around at, like, what I could do, what my options were. And the only thing I could do would be to get a medical red shirt. But if I played in this next game, then that would be off the table. So, I get an idea. I go home, I grab a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I grab a hammer. And go back into my room. I take a pull of Jack Daniels, put my hand down on the table, and boom, 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 1, 2, 3. Hit the hell out of my hand, dude. I'm sitting there shaking, but I know it's not broke, so I'm like, God, come on. Take another pull, 1, 2, 3 again. Still nothing. I'm just shaking at this point, man. But I knew it wasn't broken. So one more time, another pull, another 3 hits, and that was all I could take. I couldn't break my own hand. But when I told the guys, I was like, what would you do for more football? Because I'd do damn near anything.
Wait. That's your new starting quarterback.
Wow.
For the Las Vegas Raiders.
Raider fans, that's your guy. And people are weighing in on the text 916. It's hard to break your hand because your brain is going to stop you from causing your body damage, so you're not going to hit it as hard as you think you're going to.
I'd do it.
You got to be mentally off to hit your hand hard enough to break it. That's the point, right? That's what we say about Gardner. To even think that, you got to be a little off your rocker a little bit.
I saw this weird thing on Twitter last week. They put a fake arm on this guy where his real arm would be.
Yeah.
His real arm's on the other side of this like cardboard
thing.
So it looked like his hand, the fake hand was his hand. And they trained his brain to think, because they would like brush his real finger and brush the fake hand at the same time. And in his brain, he's
no
like,
way.
And then they smashed the fake hand and he was like, ah! They didn't touch his
Get
real
out
hand.
of here.
No, I'll show it to you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Got to check that out.
Yeah.
Man.
We will take a look at, let's see, a 5-team update on who's the starting quarterback when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and, of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we make the dream of owning a new car easy and stress-free.
With prices that you just can't say no to. Save on our best selection of the year during the final days of the Honda Summer Event.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, the future has been on display down in Stockton, the A's affiliate in the California League. Beginning on the 10th of August, the top 4 hitters taken by the A's in this year's draft have been in the lineup. Nick Kurtz, Tommy White, Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, and Rodney Green, the outfielder from Cal. In that game, those guys combined for 10 hits, and Kurtz hit a home run.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver that includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
Don't miss the action as the Kings celebrate 40 years in Sacramento, with this season poised to be the most exciting one yet. It all tips off on opening night at Golden One Center on Thursday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Timberwolves. Tickets for all games are on sale now, so be sure to get yours to see De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, new addition DeMar DeRozan, and all of your Sacramento Kings take the court at thekings.com/tickets to secure your seat for the action.
Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Dalton Murphy on the chat is a Raider fan and bless me. Says, look up Minshew versus Trevor Lawrence stats. Trevor Lawrence stats, it is. Minshew a dog and $45 million cheaper. Hashtag Raider Nation. Something about Gardner Minshew says Raider to me. And I think Jay is with me. But I'd never heard a story quite like that. You hear of people doing that. There's a guy, I'll tell you this, but I won't tell you who it is. There's a Sacramento King once who was injured, was unable to play, and it's not hard to find people who think that, oh, he injured himself on purpose. So, I don't know.
In what form?
I can't
Back,
say.
hammy, what?
That's all I'm going to say. All I'm saying is I guess it happens sometimes, but this was more, and I don't know that people were right, but if they were, this was more a guy who didn't want to play. Whereas Gardner Minshew trying to break his hand because he wanted an extra year to play.
A little different there. This guy didn't want to play for the team, or
he
wanted out, or
he wanted to get paid without having to play.
Who's this guy?
I can't.
Yeah, come on, man.
I don't even know if it's true. I could get sued. If I said
that's
that.
true. Yeah. You don't
allegedly,
right?
So all I'm saying is, I guess, he's Gardner Minshew's not the first pro athlete to try to injure himself. I don't think, but he wasn't a pro athlete at the time, though. So
yeah, I'm trying to think of some other ones, guys that faked injury or something like that, or injured himself. I can't think of it.
It's hard because they don't usually, publicize it like Gardner Minshew did. If they do that, they keep it to themselves. Right now, it's time for including the Raiders, a 5-team update on who's the starting quarterback in the NFL. We got some more information on this. Drapes, dear listener, New England Patriots. Jared Mayle saying today, there is no clear starter. But he had been leaning towards Jacoby Brissett. So it's interesting that he's gone from, Jacoby's kind of our guy, to, we don't have a clear starter.
Okay.
Drake May
he was decent. He's been looking decent.
Yeah.
That's your guy, huh? The way you look at him is the way people look at Tom Brady.
Surprise this year. I don't know.
Some say that, yeah.
So something to keep an eye on there. Denver. Bo Nix was outstanding.
Yes.
8 of 9 for 80 yards and a touchdown. 27-2, Denver over Green Bay. 27-2. Sean Payton will not name a starter yet.
Who's their backup? Who's their number 2? That's a good question, right? I need to look that up.
Zach Wilson, Bo Nix, and
Stidham?
Jared Stidham. Jared Stidham. It's Bo Nix. You got to start Bo Nix.
But I guess, I don't know. In his infinite wisdom, Sean Payton wants to see how he handles this situation. Raiders, as we said, Gardner Minshew wins a job in Las Vegas. Mike Tomlin says, his quarterbacks didn't play too well. You bring in 2 guys, right? You bring in Russell Wilson and you bring in Justin Fields. You figure, talented, kind of falling on hard times. One of them's going to find their way, right? So we'll end up with a bargain. But neither one played very well. Mike Tomlin says, still undecided. He says, it was better in some areas, but still JV and too many others.
Wow.
No starter decided yet. JV and too many
quarterbacks. JV.
We were talking last week about whatever happened to Russell Wilson. One of the things that's happened to him now is he hangs on to the ball too long.
Yeah. But
Sackathon with him back there.
I think he has to be the week 1 starter to Whitey. Here's why. If it's Justin Fields and it goes sideways, where do you go then? If it's Russell Wilson and it goes sideways, all right, now we got Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's too much pressure to put on the young fella being the opening day starter for the Steelers. I think it's Russell Wilson gets
I think that makes a ton of sense. And it makes sense that that's how Mike Tomlin would look at it. So that means that Russell Wilson's not even playing well enough for them to go that way.
Just come out and say he's our starter. Wow.
And then one other situation here, Jaden Daniels has been named today the starter in Washington.
No surprise there.
Yeah. So Washington has the starter in Jaden Daniels. Still too early to tell in Pittsburgh. Raiders got Gardner Minshew. Sean Payton won't name a starter yet, but it certainly looks like it's going to be Bo Nix in Denver. And Jared Mayo says no clear starter, but it looks like that's going to be
Jacoby Brissett?
No.
Drake May? You think it's going to be your boy Drake May?
Yes.
Okay.
There's your 5-team quarterback update. By the way, that 27-2 score, that's not the first time we've had that score in an NFL game. It is not a scoregami.
Scoregami. I know you were wondering about that. When's the last time?
1957.
What?
Pittsburgh over the Chicago Cardinals 27-2.
Wow. 57.
Yeah.
So you got to go, 60, 70 years almost. Wow.
Mm-hmm. As for who's the starter with San Francisco, well, for now it's Brock Purdy.
No, I mean,
what?
No, I'm not going to do that. That sounds like me. I would not do that. Brock Purdy's the guy. There's no QB controversy. There's a battle for the backup, though. And, I said it last week, and I'll say, who gives you, if Brock goes down, a better chance to win? I think it's Josh Dobbs. I think he's shown that. And I don't know it's preseason, but everywhere he goes, he seems to, play decent. He's like the Damian Jones of the NFL.
Yeah.
Like good enough. Like, how come he's not sticking somewhere?
But you know how tough this must be for Kyle Shanahan because Josh Dobbs is out there making plays. And you've got Brandon Allen who runs the offense. And they both have played well.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because the reporters that cover the team say, despite what we think we know about Kyle Shanahan, he does like it sometimes when a quarterback goes off script. I just don't know how much he likes it.
Yeah. I don't know how much he likes freelancing like that. I mean, it's an interesting problem to have. And I said last week, when it's time to win the Super Bowl, neither of those guys will be their starter if Brock goes down. But I like the upside with Josh Dobbs. Brandon Allen, he'll drive the car 10-2, get you from point A to point B. But I'm more of a, at their peak, who's better? And I think Josh Dobbs gives you so much more you can do play calling wise at that position. And so, but he's a little risky too. You got to take and so to your point, does Kyle Shanahan like the 10-2? I know he's just going to deliver it to where it needs to be. Or does he like the guys that'll take a shot sometimes?
Yeah, the answer may lie with this question. If, let's say, you decided to keep Brandon Allen and you cut the Pasternaut, hoping to bring him back, you think he would come back? If you had to cut him to put him, through waivers, back on the practice squad, he's gone.
He's gone. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Brandon Allen, you might sneak him through. So either you got to keep the Pasternaut and put Brandon Allen on waivers. Oh, or what looks more likely, they're going to keep, as Jason suggests, keep all three.
I could see that happening, especially given the history of the Niners quarterback position. We remember in the NFC Championship game, obviously. I mean, teams do it, keep three. And, Josh Dobbs, he gives you something that none of the other two can do. And so I'm with you. I think he keeps three. But then you got to keep less at some other position, and that raises that question. Do you keep less at the wide receiver spot, less when it comes to special teams? What are you going to do? But you're right. I don't think Josh Dobbs, if he's out there, I think somebody's snatching him up.
I don't know why, but since last year, there's something about the Josh Dobbs story. Jay's shaking his head. I love Josh Dobbs. Maybe it's the whole underdog thing. Remember, he was with Arizona and he went to the team store to get his jersey, and they didn't have it.
Have his jersey. I'm looking at his numbers, Whitey, from last year. Why do you think we are so high on Josh Dobbs? Because his numbers overall, I'm talking just, through Minnesota and Arizona, were very pedestrian. 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 62.8 completion percentage. Not lighting the world on fire. 189.5 yards per game, 79.5 quarterback rate.
I think it's his ability to run with the ball, which is exciting. And I don't agree with this, but I saw somewhere today in The Athletic, a writer or two were suggesting, you know what? He gives the 49ers some of the things they thought they were going to get with Trey Lance. I don't like that because, for one thing, let's be honest, a lot of people that cover football, there's this knee-jerk reaction to compare white quarterbacks only with white quarterbacks and black quarterbacks with black quarterbacks. And that's not, it's a little short-sighted.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, hold on a little bit here. Hold on. But he is pretty athletic when it comes to running the football. And some people say he is more athletic and a better runner than Trey Lance was, that the 49ers were wrong about Trey Lance. They thought he'd be better in that regard.
Maybe that's a reason, to your point, in terms of he had the game, it was against San Francisco last year. 12 carries, 48 yards rushing.
He's kind of exciting.
Yeah, he's exciting, guy you watch. But then I look at his time in Minnesota, Whitey. And I'm not, Josh Dobbs is my guy. He's looked good so far.
Is he really your guy, Drake?
No, he
is. He really your guy?
Yes. November 27th, Minnesota against Chicago. Barn burner. 10-12. 12-10 Chicago win. Josh Dobbs, 22 of 32, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. 4 picks. The following week,
he's a gunslinger.
10 of 23, 0 touchdowns. This was against the Raiders. 63 yards.
He probably had a bad hand.
Right. Josh Dobbs is the guy that looks good, but like I said, when you take him home, try him out.
Good backup then, right?
Yeah, good backup.
Very good backup.
Good backup.
Yeah, Shanny says the 49ers are dealing with another good problem to have. We'll take a look at that. Also update you on some interesting Ayuk information today when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento Summertime Heat is back. And, of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And, as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
My kids call me Tom. So unnerving. Every day, the older one's like, "How you doing, Tom?" I go, "Hey, I'm not your fucking stepdad, all right? I wish I was. It'd be a lot easier, but I'm not."
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Tom Segura brings his new tour, Come Together, to the venue at Thunder Valley September 5th. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Tom Segura, Come Together.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam team.
Can we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Do we have a quarterback controversy, maybe just a mini backup quarterback controversy brewing in San Francisco? We'll get to that in just a moment here on Sactown Sports. We'll get to the phones in just a moment, too. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Drapes, we were talking last week before we get to the 49ers situation. Speaking of quarterbacks, we were talking about the flag football team, how they pick players for the 2028 Olympic flag football team. Apparently, there already is a U.S. flag football team, and they already have a quarterback, and his name is Darrell Doucette. And he thinks it's disrespectful for NFL players to say they want to play on the team in the Olympics. But the NFL, according to Pro Football Talk, is working actively on getting NFL players in the 2028 Olympics. Actively. The executive VP of the NFL, Jeff Miller, says the amount of enthusiasm that was seen among our players and more broadly for flag football in 28 has been remarkable. This is going to be so much overkill.
Yeah.
If we're playing against the Netherlands in flag football,
Right.
Patrick Mahomes back to throw.
Do they even play football over there? You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
How many countries are fielding a football team, flag football team?
The next Olympics run 2028, July 14th to July 30th. That would make it easy for players to attend without missing much of training camp.
If you're an NFL player, would you want to do that, though?
I don't know.
Risk of injury? Can you imagine an ACL or
this
Achilles?
guy seems to think that players are really excited about it. We hope players who want to participate, represent their country, have that opportunity to do so. It is something that we're working on actively, end quote. Actively.
DK Metcalf on one side, Tyreek Hill on one side.
Can you imagine? Oh, my gosh.
Sauce Gardner playing corner.
Right.
The other teams would not complete a pass. Yeah.
Sounds like a win to me, fellas.
Brock Purdy would have to be the quarterback, Team USA.
Would he?
Now you need someone that scrambles.
Yeah, you want somebody that don't throw interceptions.
No, okay, I didn't say all that. You need to scramble it though.
Oh man.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. JR has been hanging on. What's up, JR?
That was a great accent of a commissioner that would be a flag football guy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well done. You know that flag football is a high school sport now.
I did know that. Yes.
Is that boys and girls, or is it just girls that play flag?
I understand it, boys and girls.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, and you got some schools down here in Elk Grove that are going to dominate that sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but hey, as much as I love this quarterback controversy calls and stuff, Whitey, you and I have talked baseball 30 plus years. I do not like the way they tried to end the quote unquote Bay Bridge series of the A's and the Giants.
It was kind of sad, wasn't it?
Well, it's silly because they're still going to play.
Yeah,
and they still got to go across the Bay Bridge. And they got to come up to Sacramento. It's lame that they kept. Come on, 89 World Series, great. I'm not 89. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it was 80. It was 89.
Yeah, you're right.
Earthquake, all that. I was there one game. I told you I knew Mitchell pretty good, but besides that, they're going to play. They're still going to play each other, and it's going to be a NorCal rivalry 3+ years if Vegas can't get their stuff together. I just didn't like how the national media kept saying, "Oh, the end of a thing," and there. I'm like, no.
Well,
it's not quite the same, though. JR, you know that.
It is the same. I mean, the Giants moved from the great Candlestick Park where I was born and raised up the street to what was, Pac-Bill.
But they moved closer.
They moved closer, so if they played on Treasure Island, maybe that would make it serious.
What are you going to call it then? You can't. Are you still going to try to call it the Bay Bridge Series? We already have a Causeway Classic. What are you going to call it? The I-80 series?
I'm going to call it Go Through Vallejo, where the great Whitey Gleason was born and raised series.
Oh, the Whitey Gleason Cup.
That's about halfway in between. Yeah. It's a good idea. Thank you.
The Kevin Whitey Gleason Cup.
Yeah. See,
I like that.
I hadn't thought it. I thought he was going a different way. Like, oh, it's so sad. He's saying, no, come on.
No,
the series continues. Yeah, but the I-80. You know, it's interesting. I saw on social media, both teams had like pins that they had produced for the series, the Bay Bridge series, and both of them had pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's like it's a Bay Bridge.
The Bay Bridge, right? Gotta have a Bay Bridge. Right? You don't cross the Golden Gate Bridge to get to Oakland. What are you doing?
That's definitely the long way.
Wow. Yeah. Is that true? They really had with the Golden Gate Bridge?
They were pinned. Yeah, I'll find them. But I believe, both teams gave out or had produced pins that had the Golden Gate Bridge on them.
Yeah. Farmer Bleezy. Also, they don't have to cross the Bay Bridge to go to Sac. LOL. Come on, bro. I mean, I guess you don't, but
you don't.
Yeah, I guess, Jay. But isn't that the long way? You just if it's traffic on the Bay Bridge,
the A's don't, right?
Yeah, the A's don't.
Yeah, the A's
don't.
But the Giants don't, right?
Well,
I mean, the Giants do, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, don't you?
No,
Jay?
you take the Golden Gate and slide through, the back, the Sausalito.
That's
all
only
that
during traffic.
Okay,
Jay.
well, I'm
Come
just
on.
saying, man. Hey, look, you don't have to. You can slide over. You can definitely jump around and take a full circle, but you don't have to go over the Bay Bridge.
So what are we going to call it?
San Mateo Bridge. I don't know what we call it anything. As long as it's in Sac, baby.
I bet you money they'll call it the I-80 series.
That's the 80.
Yeah. I-80 series. Get like a big trophy with an I-80 on it, And
also look like that California Classic thing that was given the Peacock Trophy or whatever that was.
People were talking about that Bay Bridge Series trophy, and it was a day when you weren't here, Drapes. Jay and I were talking weeks ago with Brody Brazil. Brody Brazil. He's the one that came up with the idea for the trophy, and he explained how difficult it was to get the medal and everything. It was a great idea. My point is, though, it never really caught on. So I don't think we need some trumped up, I-80 series trophy.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Something.
The rivalry's already there.
Old pieces of the Woos or something on the show. The Woos series. Yeah.
Shouts out to the Woos. Drape, see that? The Woos is a staple.
I know.
It was an old school staple.
Right? Yeah. I remember y'all talking about that before.
And we got to find the Woos, like the family who created the Woos.
The Woos will never die at our hearts, and neither will the Bay Bridge series. But how about this? Here's Kyle Shanahan on the quarterback situation right now with the 49ers, because they got two pretty good quarterbacks battling for the backup job. So Kyle Shanahan said, I thought they both did well with the reps they were given. Dobbs got to play a little bit more. I thought he did a really good job leading on some of the drives. When Brandon came in, he did the same. It was very similar to last week. The games have been tight. The practice has been tight. So it's a good problem we have right now, end quote. That is just like the go-to line for the Niners, right?
Good
John Lynch, when are you
problem
going to sign your players? Oh, it's a good problem we have.
Right.
With so many good players.
I mean, we're talking backup quarterback, though, Whitey. I mean, it is a good problem to have. Two capable backups. I'm guaranteed, Dobbs is making Shanahan's decision a little bit tougher. I don't think anybody thought Dobbs was going to come in and wow the way he did. It's a good problem. When you got three quarterbacks, that's a good problem to have.
But as you know, better than most, being an Eagle fan, a year ago, the 49ers, especially Kyle Shanahan, they were very concerned about who the backup was going to be because they remembered what had happened, and they still weren't sure that Brock Purdy was going to be okay. So you had Sam Darnold, and you had Brandon Allen, and you had Trey Lance. So you had four quarterbacks. They have four now, but I mean, they had four guys that supposedly could all play.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't think, to Jay's point, having three is not a bad idea. It's you carried three last year, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he may have forced you into that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you got to carry three and see which way it goes, man. And I'm not opposed to that. I think that's a prudent play, a smart play. If you try to get rid of Dobbs, you're not going to be able to bring him back, like we talked about. And, when you look at Allen, it's like he's good. Maybe you throw him practice squad or something like that, but I'm not opposed to having all three.
All right, now I have a quiz for you. Maybe you've seen this. But speaking of quarterbacks, one quarterback is back at practice. So here's what his coach said. I felt like music should be playing. I thought I heard music. Voices of angels, maybe. It felt great. It felt great. Can you guess the coach? I felt like music should be playing. His quarterback was back, having last practice July 31st. I thought I heard music. Voices of angels, maybe. It felt great. It felt great.
No, who's that?
Jim Harbaugh.
Really?
Yeah. Talked about Justin Herbert back at practice. Voices of angels. Right.
He's buying it. He's drinking that Kool-Aid also with Herbert.
He's selling that
right?
Kool-Aid.
He's selling that thing, right? That's the boy wonder, Justin Herbert. And his whole season depends, talking about Harbaugh, depends on the health of Herbert. And so I'm okay with it.
You guys Herbert fans, we've had this conversation.
More, what is it, Jay? More hype than actual, more sizzle than steak, if you will, regarding Justin Herbert?
I think he's good, but I think we need to see substance now. Yeah. And that's the same thing you kind of saying, Drake.
You have to do something.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah, like get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Start there, huh?
Yeah, let's start there.
When we come back, I know Drapes wants to talk about Caitlin Clark. Are you upset about what's going on with Caitlin Clark?
Nah, I just find it fascinating. Yeah. My girl, Caitlin Clark. Now, I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I got like 50 of her cards.
Right.
That's my girl. Yes.
Yeah. Also, does the latest LeBron to the Dubs rumor, does it even make sense? We'll bounce over to basketball when we come back to Sactown Sports.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments.
Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, staring at that sunshine and feeling the warmth for this Monday. Overnight tonight will cool off to the lower 60s. Great sleeping weather, right? For your day on Tuesday, expect highs in the low to mid 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Matt Barrows on the 49ers top of the hour. Also, in just a moment here, we're going to take a look at what apparently happened to scuttle LeBron going to the Warriors. I'm not sure it makes sense. But first, there's this here. Drapes, what do you have to say about this? Our buddy Jay on our text thread today comparing Caitlin Clark is right here. He says she's the new Draymond. Caitlin Clark now 2 technical fouls away from automatic WNBA suspension. And you're defending her?
Well, of course, Jay hasn't seen Caitlin Clark play because Draymond is kicking people in the man region. Back.
Oh, he didn't do that anymore.
All right, that was the old Draymond,
That was
right?
2016 Draymond.
Caitlin Clark's technicals come from arguing with officials, showing too much emotion, slapping the stanchion. Like, she got a tech yesterday for slapping the stanchion behind the basket.
Should have been thrown out.
Come on, it's ridiculous. Like, and I was watching it because I watch her games. I'm a WNBA fan. Going to Seattle, thinking about going to see a Seattle Storm game against the New York Liberty in a couple of weeks. But I'm watching the game, and it came upon me that I see why Caitlin Clark is hated by so many. And I'm talking about not necessarily hated by WNBA players, but Caitlin Clark is that kind of person that they're so good, they're almost like agitators and you want to shut them up. But yet she keeps getting the best of you. She put on a master class in yesterday's game against Seattle, which the Fever won. Skylar Diggins, as Caitlin Clark is waving to her crowd, hyping him up, Skylar Diggins bumps into her, and Caitlin, is like, what's going on here, and everything like that. And so as I'm watching this, Whitey, I'm saying to myself, I can see why Caitlin Clark gets under the skin of people. She's good. She's kind of talks a little bit, you know what I mean? She's kind of outward with it, waving her hands, getting hype and everything like that. And because she's so good, you want to beat her so badly. Like, I feel like watching Caitlin Clark play, watching the Indiana Fever play, opposing teams want to shut her down so badly. They want to go at her so hard. They want to shut her up so badly. You can see it. It's not just basketball. It's competition when she plays out on the court. And then I go on social media and you got Caitlin Clark fans posting, oh, man, what a game by Caitlin Clark. She's clearly the rookie of the year. She's clearly better than Angel Reese and all this. Then you got people on the other side. Angel Reese had a 2020 or almost a 2020 double-double yesterday. Now you got people saying, see, Angel Reese is better. I just find it fascinating. To me, Caitlin Clark, and I know I say I'm the LeBron James, but to me, Caitlin Clark is the LeBron James of the WNBA, meaning you have to have an opinion on her. Anything she does is put under a microscope, magnified, more so than any other player in the league, both good and bad. And I don't think it's her fault. I think it's society. I think it's social media. I think it's everybody that watches. They're trying to make a statement. With every good game Caitlin Clark has or every bad game, people are trying to make a statement and use her name.
Isn't there, I don't know the answer to this, but isn't there I think there's a lot more people that love her than there are detractors. I mean, I know they're there. Anybody who's really successful, isn't she pretty universally beloved? But then there's like that subtext.
I think it's pretty, and I would love to get Jay's thoughts on this. I think she's more loved, but I think it's 60-40. And I could argue it might be on cultural lines, not 100% cultural lines, but you
say cultural, do you mean racial?
Racial lines, yeah. And it's interesting. That's why I find it so fascinating. You have Angel Reese, who's playing extremely well, an African-American woman, and then you have, Caitlin Clark, a Caucasian woman, and it's like, if you're black, you're not supposed to like Caitlin Clark. If you're white, I find it fascinating, the racial lines that this is brought about. It's almost like bird magic 40 years later or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And so it's almost like Lakers Celtics back in the day. Growing up in Philly, you could not like the Celtics and Larry Bird because they were from Boston. And when I got the job in Boston, my mom said, nope, you're not going there. You're not going to, because it was along, in the minds of African Americans, Boston was such a racist city. And I feel like when you talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, like it's being used for racial purposes, if you will. And so I just find it fascinating, man, because I like watching them both play. Obviously, I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan.
They're both great for the game of basketball.
Huge for the game of basketball and the talent, and they're so different. I look at Angel Reese, her ability to rebound, her ability, just her hustle, her energy, her effort is fantastic. And then I look at Caitlin Clark, obviously the step back three, but I think the best part about her game is her court vision, her ability to pass.
Can't teach it.
I love watching these two women play.
How do other players feel about them? Do we know the answer to that?
No, I think what it is, it's sort of like if you're teammates with them, you love them. If you have to go against them, you want to, stick it to them. You want to put them in their place, if you will. But I love watching them. Caitlin Clark had a couple of passes yesterday. I had to stop and rewind and bring my son into the room and show him, hey, look at this pass right here. And I see how she gets under the skin of people. She's waving, she's barking back and everything. She's begging for the fouls. And, people want to go at her. They know she's the hot thing. And so they're looking to, shut her up. But I just find it fascinating that women's basketball, is where it is, where we're at a point now where it's bigger than the game when you talk about Clark and Angel Reese. We're talking about societal issues when it comes to those two.
Some of that obviously is a reflection of some things going on in our country right now.
Yeah.
We're more divided, though we've, obviously in our country, that's always been an issue, white, black.
Right.
In some ways, it's more of a hot rail issue right now than it was in the 80s in Boston, which is saying a lot.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. And, I'm obviously pulling for both them. I see, the flaws in each of their games. Caitlin Clark and her turnovers, Angel Reese and her field goal percentage. I see it both, but they're two. What's frustrating about this whole discussion, Whitey, is that we have these two women under a microscope, but really they're young. You know what I mean? These are rookies. And to put this much pressure on them from an outside standpoint, it's just, I applaud them both for the way they've handled it, to be honest with you, because I don't know if I'm 21, 22, and people are taking shots at me. I'm going to talk on all these sports talk shows if I can handle it the way these women are.
Which one of them enjoys it more? I think Angel Reese
that's a good question.
I think she's learned to kind of work that in her favor.
Yeah, I think she's using that as a sort of chip on her shoulder, if you will, and embracing that role exactly. And I'll show you. But I also think Caitlin does it as well too. I think Caitlin does it in a different way. I think she does it more with her play in terms of when she steps on the floor, she's going to put in that work. Whereas I feel like Angel sort of wears it with her wherever she goes, in public, in private, press conferences and things like that. It's interesting. Caitlin got that technical, yesterday and 2 until she gets automatically suspended. She said the referee at the time told her, you're being disrespectful to the game of basketball. And so that,
he's right.
Right. But that to me is like, is that what we're doing? Like, we handing out texts for being disrespectful? I just
done it in the NBA.
Yeah, but not slapping the back stanchion.
Oh yeah, guys get teased for less though. Drapes, come on.
I guess.
In the NBA,
I guess.
Come on, people get. How many times have you been?
That doesn't make it right, though.
No,
that doesn't make it right.
I don't say that. But what I'm saying is how many times have you called a game and be like, man, what was the team for? What I have to get an understanding, and you're right on the floor.
The bottom line, though, is as everyone knows, it's a business. And who is the commissioner of the NBA now? It's Donna Orender. It's not her anymore.
No, it's not
that lady. I can't.
Yeah, it's her first year. I forget her name. No, and it's not Kathy Engelbert. It's somebody. I forget her name. I'm sorry.
Whoever it is needs to talk to the officials and go, look, we get it, but this is Caitlin Clark. We can't have her missing any games. People are paying a lot of money right now to see her play. We can't have her suspended. Now, if she, kicks you or something, okay. But the rest of it, you have to let go because she's making money for all of us, including you. We can't have some big TV game against somebody.
Kathy Engelbert. Yeah. But let me ask you this.
We can't have her miss a game on TV because you thought she was disrespecting the game. You may be right, but that doesn't matter. We can't have it.
Well, and you're right, Whitey. How many times in the NBA have we seen players and talking heads say, people don't pay to see the officials.
Right.
They pay to see the star players.
Right.
And so you're right. And it'd be different if it was, slamming the ball or directed at a ref. I don't know. I just feel, but I see why some people, it gets under their skin a little bit, because she's a little different, but
it's also, like you said, she's really good. And people don't like that.
Yeah.
About anybody in anything sometimes.
I do think it's, there is a jealousy aspect of it, when it comes to WNBA players. And it can only be, think about it. It's only human nature. But here's a person that hasn't accomplished anything coming into her rookie season. But yet she's getting all these endorsements, all these accolades, all this press, all this notoriety. And some people want to go at you harder because of that.
You can't tee up Caitlin Clark. She makes too much money for us. When we come back, does the latest LeBron to the Dubs rumor, does it even make sense? Also talk about this forward. The Sixers are close to signing. Were the Kings in on him? Why aren't they signing him? Next, Sactown Sports.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Your water heater. Old, rusty, forgotten. We hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings? Very possible. Playoffs? Highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
My kids call me Tom. So unnerving. Every day, the older one's like, how you doing, Tom? I go, hey, I'm not your fucking stepdad, all right? I wish I was. It'd be a lot easier, but I'm not.
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Tom Segura brings his new tour, Come Together, to the venue at Thunder Valley September 5th. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Tom Segura, Come Together.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 1 pallet or more of select shingles. Plus, save 10% when you buy 68 or more select OSB sheathing. And if you find a lower price in-store or online, we'll match it. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
This year, Dell Technologies' Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by RVs of Sacramento and Public Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we make the dream of owning a new car easy and stress-free.
With prices that you just can't say no to. Save on our best selection of the year during the final days of the Honda Summer Event.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Let's just pretend this night won't end.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
This doesn't add up to me. Am I missing something, Drapes? Jay, dear listener, maybe you've heard the story by now. According to Mark Stein, Rich Paul, LeBron James' agent, was adamantly opposed to the idea of LeBron going to the Warriors. You know, the Warriors were trying to trade for him last year at the deadline. And Mark Stein says, sources say Paul implored both teams to scrap the concept, despite some owner-to-owner dialogue between the Warriors' Joe Lacob and the Lakers' Jeannie Buss, and Draymond Green's determination to lobby James to push for relocation to the Bay Area, largely because he wanted to insulate LeBron from potential backlash over switching teams for the fourth time in his career. End quote. The agent works for the player, the announcer, the actor, whomever. Mm-hmm. It's ultimately up to the player or whoever the agent's working for, right? It's their responsibility if there's something potentially beneficial to their client, even if something they don't agree with. They're obligated to take it to the client, right? And say, hey, I wouldn't do this, but you could do this. I don't understand how Rich Paul can kibosh LeBron to the Warriors if LeBron was interested in going. That's what I don't get about this. Rich Paul is so powerful, he could say, hey, I don't want him going there. Don't even think about it. We're not even going to tell LeBron about this. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. The reasoning is understandable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Does he call, Mike Dunleavy Jr. and say, hey, man, I don't want my guy. I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Though?
Yeah. Rich Paul, though, very powerful guy.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But isn't his first obligation to LeBron James?
Yeah, but I feel like this is one of those things where because they're childhood friends, because they're, best buds, like I'm sure he took it to him, but Bron, nah, man, this don't make sense. Like, don't do this, and this is during the season, mind you.
Right.
So Bron isn't, probably entertaining this as much. Rich Paul doesn't want him entertaining this as much while he's trying to focus on the season. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you, Whitey. Rich Paul is an extremely powerful man in the league. I just feel like he's right. I wouldn't want to go there if I'm LeBron because of my legacy.
Right. All I'm saying is this has to – LeBron must have had a hand in this. I don't – Rich Paul.
Of course.
Yeah. So then what's the story? Then what's the story? Why are we even talking about it? If LeBron didn't want to go there, okay. Yeah, all right, fine. But why all of a sudden is this supposed to be a story that Rich Paul told both teams that they shouldn't do it? Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Rich Paul, I'm looking at Sports Illustrated. Rich Paul halted talk of Lakers trading LeBron James.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I can't believe that anyway. Because if LeBron was interested, he would have, the talks would have continued. To me, like Jay said and you said, this is LeBron saying, nah, Rich, I'm not interested. Like, is it Rich Paul or is it the reporting or like what do we have a problem with? Mark Stein's report?
It sounds to me like this is a case again where a writer is forwarding the agent's agenda, maybe in exchange for something down the road. Because otherwise, look, I get it. It's like, he didn't want him to go there. He didn't want LeBron to go there. Okay. But the notion that Rich Paul came in and said, all right, this has to stop. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what it is, Whitey? It's August 19th, and we don't have any games. That's what that is. Like, here's the thing. Mark Stein's reporting stuff that he probably knew back in February, March, April, when he's going through his notebook and, I haven't written that Rich Paul story yet. Let me pull it out and do it. It's not a story, and the fact that it's being aggregated and, talked about, I don't see it's not believable. I don't believe Rich Paul.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I believe LeBron probably said,
sure,
or they had the discussion and then Rich went back to both teams.
Yeah,
hey man, he's not interested. He don't want to, but
yeah,
Rich Paul, the way Mark Stein said it
exactly,
it's believed that the Lakers league sources that the reported talks between the teams at the time never got that far. In large part because James agent Rich Paul was adamantly opposed to the idea of LeBron swapping Southern California. You might be right about the agent.
I don't know.
Paul, he got power, but he ain't doing that without his clients' knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Now, this is not that big of a deal, but we do have word that the Sixers have agreed from ESPN to a 1-year, $2.1 million deal for Gershon Yabusele. I know we touched on this earlier. That's what sources told Woj on Sunday. 6'8", bruising, power forward, 2016 first-round pick of the Celtics. $2.1 million, though. Drapes, come on. The Kings couldn't get in on that, offer him a little more. They got, the 12.9 mid-level?
Is he our guy? Is he the guy we would want here in Sacramento?
I guess not, huh? I guess not. I do think people got a little carried away with how well he played in the Olympics.
Right, that's the thing. Yeah, I feel like, they saw him in the Olympics, and I forget which podcast I was listening to. Somebody was talking about this. It was actually our boy Rick Camlin, AD, Antonio Daniels, give and go on Sirius XM radio, and AD, Antonio Daniels, was making the point, the NBA is all about doing what the team wants you to do, not what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Gershon, that we saw for France, he ain't doing that on a team with Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. You know what I mean? There's 4 or 5, 6 guys ahead of him. He's a role player in the NBA on Team France. He's one of their studs. It's a different game. And that's the point AD was making. And so, listening to him, he was shocked and surprised that, people think what Gershon did over there is easily going to translate to the NBA.
Yabusele, according to ESPN, spent the last 3 years with the Spanish team, helping them win the EuroLeague title 2023, made the competition's Final Four each season. This past season, Gershon Yabusele averaged 9.6 points, shot 43% from three-point range on about 2.5 attempts per game. 43%. Trape, 6'8" guy that can shoot the three ball.
Whitey, haven't we been down this path before?
This is like for almost nothing.
No, but
2.1 million, I could throw it away. Oh, I can give it to him and he'll come here.
We just brought Sasha Bezenkov over. Oh, he put up numbers over in the
This
EuroLeague.
guy's been in the association.
This guy is an MVP of the EuroLeague, talking about Sasha Bezenkov, but yet he comes over here, can't even get on the floor. And so that's what Gershon is. You know, he's a 7th, 8th, 9th man, if you will, in the NBA. He's going to be a role player on that bench. I'd be shocked if he averaged in double figures. Shocked, if you will.
I get it. The Kings they need some size.
You'll take anybody right now, huh?
Yeah.
Gershon Yabusele.
Who just signed? Somebody signed JT Thor. And I was like, no.
No.
Seriously, you just signed somebody. And I was like, oh, man.
We could have had that guy. Why not us?
Yeah. These big guys that signed for like very little money, it makes me a little uncomfortable, Drapes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did to an NBA contract. Who just signed?
Cleveland, I think.
Cleveland, huh?
Yeah. JT Thor signs 2-way deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Come on.
Is JT Thor better than Isaiah and Isaac, our 2-way guys? We got those guys already.
He's bigger, right? He's bigger and
You can't watch the Olympics and then be like, oh, first of all, it's a different game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Entirely different game. And JT.
He's only 21.
Man, Whitey, come on.
He averaged almost 7 points a game for South Sudan.
Look, he's played 3 years in the NBA.
I know.
His best season, 2022-23. 3.8 points, 2.2 rebounds.
Yeah, but look at his shooting percentage. I don't even know what it was. Hopefully there's something there. This is an absolute heave from,
No, that's not even that. Career field goal percentage, 41.8. Career 3-point percentage, 32. Yeah.
All right. Good luck.
And Monty knows what he's doing.
He does.
He knows what he's doing.
He does. You're right. Patience is a virtue. What was the thing you found today about DeMar DeRozan and his secret to staying healthy and productive?
Yeah. I sent this in the group chat. Nate Jones, noted NBA guy, agent kind of guy, he tweeted out about our boy DeMar DeRozan. He said, "How does a 16-year vet not lose a step?" ? DeMar DeRozan has been doing 5 a.m. strength and conditioning workouts with Estrada Fitness throughout the offseason for a decade plus now. When you're up early enough to see the moonlight over the ocean. And so there you go, right there. It's he puts in the work, 5 a.m.
He does. Don't you feel like, honestly, for being honest here, if you were getting up at 5 a.m. for how long?
What did he say? Decade plus?
16 years?
Don't you think you'd be in worse shape now if you've been doing that the last 16 years?
Yeah, he's taking care of his body. He's taking care of his body, man. Then he go home, get the nap. He get the nap, midday nap and everything. You ever work out in the morning? No, see, but you used to work
in the morning.
Yeah. Like a morning workout, Whitey?
Uh-huh.
You feel accomplished. When you're done by like 7, everybody else still asleep. Like for me, it's golf. Golf is my thing. When I play 9 and I'm done by 7:15, 7:30, I'm like, it's going to be a great day. You feel good.
I used to get up at 3-something for more than 16 years. It took at least 16 years off of my life.
But you had to go to work, big fella. You had to trudge into the studio. You know what I mean?
Obviously, it's working for him.
Yeah, it is. And, I was talking to somebody earlier today with the Kings organization about DeMar DeRozan and how, I think this guy's going to fit in perfectly. From the work ethic that we see, obviously, with the morning workouts to taking the young fellas under their wing, I think this guy is going to be perfect for Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. Matt Barrows is going to be perfect for us, top of the hour, talking about the 49ers. He's going to join us when we come back. Happy birthday to this king. Does he belong on the 40 for 40 list? Next on Sactown Sports.
They say the hardest part of getting something done is getting started. Well, We did that 30 years ago, when California first took on the tobacco industry. Now, smoking is down 60%, lung cancer 42%. A couple of our cities have already ended tobacco sales. A California without big tobacco isn't just possible, it's already happening. See our progress at undo.org.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Toyota's national sales event is on now through Labor Day weekend. It's time to keep your summer going with the new Toyota Hybrid and its incredible MPG. That means fewer fill-ups and more adventure. Choose from Toyota's 16 hybrid and electrified models, more than any other brand. And go the distance with Toyota's class-leading fuel efficiency and reliability. There's one for everybody. Hit the open road in your new Toyota Hybrid and live it up in California. Hurry in today. Toyota, let's go places.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Look at this from Guerrero Grows. I'm done working out by 9 a.m. I swim a mile at the Y. I guess if you can do it, and I just feel like, just thinking about it, I feel like 16 years that I wouldn't feel better. I'd feel worse.
But your body would get used to it, right?
I want to sleep. I like to sleep.
What time you wake up nowadays?
I wake up around 4 something or 5. I'd go back to sleep and get up around 7 to 7:30ish.
Really?
Usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm usually a 6:15 guy. 6:15, 6:30 guy. Got to get the kids off to school and everything like that. And on weekends, I'll take naps or something like that. Or if I'm super tired, I'll nap from 8:30 to 9:30 or something like that. But I'm usually up, man.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It was just, I did it for so long and talked myself into thinking I liked it. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that again.
Right.
But whatever works for DeMar DeRozan. And happy birthday today to Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray. I was about to say, don't leave me hanging.
I didn't.
Don't leave me hanging.
I didn't.
You thought about it, though. You thought about it.
No.
24-year-old Keegan Murray. He's on your top 40.
I don't know. Am I allowed to talk about that, Jay? Is there anything? Is there
what?
Can't put the
Hold on, this
list
is our show, Jay.
No, you can. You can get.
Is there anything that we're allowed to talk about, or
Yeah,
anything?
of course.
new to have?
Everything's on the table.
I know. But as far as our program here to celebrate the 40th year of Kings basketball by naming our 40 for 40, the top 40 players in Kings history.
I mean, I think you can definitely say, if Guy is on your list or, within your top 50 or, something of that nature. Definitely. That teases what's coming up next week. Absolutely.
It's right there.
You got him on there.
All right.
I
do.
Let me take a look at my list.
Is that your finality over there right now? Is that a 40? Where are you at on your list? Are you down to 40 like Drapes? Drapes is 39 and strong with
39 locks.
I'm right where I was into last week, which is I have 40, but I reserve the right to, there's probably like around five guys that I'm still making sure of.
So what are you doing? You crossing your T's, dotting your I's? What do you think is going to move those five guys into your top 40?
We're going to have to do a deep dive on them and just make sure that, because it's easy to just off the top of your head, oh, that guy was great. Yeah, he's definitely top 40. So a guy like that would make the list, but I have to go back and say, okay, was I just fond of the way that guy played or one thing he did? Have to drill down to make sure the guys towards the back of the list are truly deserving and that I'm not leaving off somebody that I'm overlooking. So that's all.
I got a question about this whole process, Jay, and I know we got a number of people putting together their list. Is it, let's say Keegan's on one person's list, but not on the others?
Sure.
How do we know they actually make it? Like, are we saying it's the point value on where they were selected?
Yes.
Basically? Okay.
Yeah. And also remember, Jay has selected like 75 people.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so this is and the ballots go out post this show.
Okay.
And I didn't want to send I thought about sending them out this morning, but
that's
I was
the members of the committee, right?
Yes.
Those are I'm saying, Andy. Yeah, not that he has 75 on his list, but 75 people he's reaching out to.
Yeah.
And it is 20 something?
24. I think we're at 24. 23 or 24. I have to triple check the numbers off the top of my head. But the criteria, and I kept it very simple because that's kind of what we talked about. Importance to the team, the individual accolades, statistics, however you want to say it that way. What they meant to winning, of course, because winning is it's what matters, right, fellas?
Yeah,
it's winning the situation.
That's part of it.
Yeah, and then just individuality, excitement, however you see fit, personal. Because as you said, Drapes, it might be something that you may say those 2 years of Malik Monk versus the 4 years of Hito Turkoglu, and I don't know if Hito played 4. I'm just saying 4 years of player B might be a little more, that matters too, because 2 years of Malik Monk might mean a lot more because of the 6-man voting, what he's done, the triple OTs, those type of things versus someone who's been solid for 4 years, but might didn't do as much as Malik has done in this 2 years.
Right. Yeah, Malik's a great example, and I have him on my list. And again, it's not final, but he's solidly on my list for those reasons Jay mentioned. He's been part of one of the most impactful teams, one of the most beloved teams in all of the 39 years now.
So we're including all that. That's not just strictly basketball.
Well,
this is connecting with the community. This isn't just the top 40 players with the best stats.
Now, see, I didn't say community and what they meant for the community. And let me get you the full 4 or 5 pieces of criteria that I'm sending to our panel. Hold on real fast. I got to get my computer.
All right. Because here, as you know, Whitey, and you guys were just talking about it, some guys may have fewer numbers, but the fans loved them. You know what I mean? Lesser numbers, but the fans loved them. And, Malik might be in that category, only 2 short years, but man, the fan base here loves him.
That's why, to me, he's solidly in because he qualifies on 2 fronts. He's beloved and he has played well.
What about Tyrese Halliburton then?
He wasn't here very long, and the team wasn't
year and
very
a half.
good.
You're only a half year less than Malik.
Yeah, but the team
only
didn't
25, 30 games less than Malik.
Right. But the team didn't do anything.
Okay. But connection with the crowd, the fan base.
I'm double checking it. I don't think I had him on my list, but I would not.
I'm not saying I have him on my. I'm just throwing it out there.
He's arguing his point.
Clearly, you have him on your list, or you wouldn't bring it up.
No, look, I got my sheet right here. No, he was one I wrestled with, though. He was one, if we're talking connection to the fan base, think about it. When he left, people were crying.
Yeah.
The emotional,
he was.
Yeah, he was. Like, he was only here a short time, but in terms of, impact and what he meant to the city and the fans, Tyrese is up there.
Right. It doesn't have to be Malik or Halliburton. They could both be in.
Okay.
It's not even either or.
Yeah.
As we discuss it, Tyrese is probably making up ground in my mind, for what that's worth, on some of my bubble guys.
Wow.
Like Kenny Smith and Tyus Edney and Bogey and guys like that.
Oh.
Bubble guys?
Yeah.
Bubble.
Kenny Smith, a bubble guy?
Yeah. He's on the list, but I'm looking at it.
That's going to be fun.
That's the great part about it. So real fast, I kept it real simple, fellas. We're talking about excitement. Excitement brought to the fans. That's one of the criteria. Individual success and achievements, accolades, 6-man's, MVP award voting, all those type of things. Impact on the organization. How you see that is how you see that. We got guys like G-Man on our panel, who may see it something different. Drapes, you get to travel with the team. You may see something a little different. So impact on the organization. How you see fit, they've impacted this organization is how you see fit. important to the history of the organization.
Ooh,
can you tell the story of this organization without that person?
Okay.
Does that make sense to you, right? A couple other pieces of criteria: no minimum or maximum amount of time that they've had to spend for the team.
Yeah, that's a great rule.
So if you want to go DeMar DeRozan, can't go, because the next piece is you have had to play at least compete in one game.
I'll just hold on to my list.
Right.
Just
There you
slow
go.
play it.
So are we?
That's it. That's it. That's all.
All right, we're cobbling this together and coming with one list.
Yes.
But then are we also releasing our individual list?
That's up to you.
So now this is the great part about it is this is all anonymous, because we have dignitaries, all spread out throughout the Sacramento community, national, and have ties to the team like yourself, Drape. So you're in a difficult position. You have 2 jobs. That's what you get paid for. But
that's true.
we also have others who don't. They're allegiance to the Kings. Some are allegiance to their medium. They write for a specific person, or they interview for specific people. They're a beat reporter, and no pressure for them to come out with their own lists. This is all going to be together.
It's like the Hall of Fame voting.
Yes.
They don't say who
They don't
voted for
divulge who
but
did.
the voters sometimes will come out and say,
Will come out
if
and
they
vote.
choose to do so.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we've already had a couple people who are like, yes, I want to come on, talk about my list, argue with the fellas, debate with the fellas, and talk about it. So we'll have a lot of different panelists throughout the next couple of weeks. And then on top of that, I've already reached out to a player or two, who probably is going to make that top 40. And they're like, yeah, would love to discuss it, because I've had these conversations. We've had these conversations, meaning players, throughout the history of where they matter compared to, where I mattered. And, in 87 versus 2007, 90 versus 2015. So we'll have a player or two pop on about that. And my goal is to have one player out of every 10 that we release. So August 26th, we'll do honorable mention, which will be 41 through 50, more or less. And, maybe a couple other players because they're honorable mention. Tuesday, that'd be the 27th. We'll have the, what would that be? 31 to 40, and so forth.
Okay.
That Friday, the 30th, we'll have 1 through 9 or 1 through 10 or whatever it is. And my goal is to have, from honorable mention, have a player on. That 30, the 30s to the 40, have one guy on. So that's the push.
Compio says Sas Castillo, not on my list. I can't speak for anybody else.
No?
Nah, he didn't make my top 60. Yeah.
Bless him, though.
Yeah.
Played in the NBA Finals. Good for him.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did. Forgot about that. You're right. That was a couple of years ago. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Remember,
That's
because he
something,
wanted to quit, and I think his wife said, "You better not quit." And he stayed with it.
Stay
and
with
he
it. Got a trip to the finals.
There's a few other things, and I didn't. This is just, I guess, and I'll release it a little bit right here. I haven't given you guys. I have like 5 or 6 questions that's going to come along with, the criterion instructions. So you guys can start to think about this. Who's your Sacramento King all-time favorite? Who is that?
Mm-hmm.
When you say Sacramento King, who's the first player that comes to mind?
Mm-hmm.
What is the most underrated Sacramento King of all time? Who is that? It doesn't matter. Who's the most overrated Sacramento King player of all the time?
I have a question for Mr. Commissioner of the 4040. Is there a place where listeners, is there one spot where they can call or they can log on or they can send their own lists, or where, if there's a place where they wanted to share their list, what's the best place?
Yes, we will be rolling that out midweek.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So keep it locked right here to the drive, guys.
Right.
And you'll be seeing that across Sactown Sports, of course, 1140. We're going to allow the fan vote to happen too, as well. This is the All-Star game.
Right.
We won't just keep it in-house. We let some of our things go out-house. So the fan vote will have a position in this too later come this week. I'm thinking Wednesday or Thursday. I just need to get my panelists all on one accord right now because we don't have 3, we have 20. So we're at that point as well. Yeah.
Great. We've got way out in front of it.
I don't need to leak. I don't need my panelists to leak out their 40 like we saw the schedule come out.
Is Kenny Smith locked into your top 40, Jay?
I haven't got that far.
Oh,
I'm still in the 60s.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, Matt Barrows who writes about the 49ers as only he can for The Athletic, with a look at what happened last night, where the Niners go from here. It's coming up on Sactown Sports.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store, and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
I just don't like going to church, man. I don't like the people there. People at church have like coworker vibes.
Ralph Barbosa, the super cool ass tour.
Like some of them are cool, but most of them, they're just being fake nice because they want that promotion. Like if those are the people that are going to be hanging out in heaven, I just go to hell.
Saturday, September 7th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the hilarious Ralph Barbosa live.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings, very possible. Playoffs, highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Labor Day savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Labor Day savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing and leasing. Some other offers must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/3/24.
Made a great deal at Maida.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by RVs of Sacramento and Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, England, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Let me tell you something. As you know, especially if you're a 49er fan, there are many people in Northern California writing about the 49ers, covering the 49ers. But I could not be more sincere when I say this. Our next guest is one of them. And he joins us now. He's a senior writer covering the 49ers for The Athletic. Are we ready to go, Jay, with our special guest? Yeah. The one and only Matt Barrows. Ready to go?
I think he might be on the phone with him.
Yeah. All right. We'll get to Matt Barrows in just a moment. Do we have Matt Barrows ready to roll? Yeah. All right. Here, as I say, of all the writers covering the 49ers, he is one of them. He's Matt Barrows. How are you, Matty?
Oh, how are you guys?
Good.
What's up, Matt?
Great to catch up with you, especially I know you probably had a late night last night, right? After that barn burner of a preseason contest.
Yeah, I was at the edge of my seat the whole night, so it was tense. I could hardly sleep afterwards, but I'm pushing through today.
Good. We appreciate that. I did, honestly. I thought for a preseason game, it was fairly interesting as these things go, but I'm wondering, what do you think? And I know you heard him, you talked to him. What did Kyle Shanahan like and didn't like about the play of his quarterbacks last night?
I think he's liked it so far, and that's including the game against Tennessee last week. Brock Purdy didn't do much. He didn't have much out there to do anything with. It was Purdy and maybe three offensive linemen who will start week one against the Jets, and then everybody else was a backup. So no George Kittle, no Christian McCaffrey, no Brandon Ayuk, of course, no Deebo Samuel, and you could tell. I think that was the theme of those first three drives. Purdy didn't find a lot of open receivers, and tried to make things happen with his feet and doing some ad-libbing, and it just didn't work, which raises the question, why was he in there in the first place? And, both Shanahan and Purdy said afterward that they wanted to get him in rhythm, get his kind of mental clock sharpened a little bit more than he can get in practices, things like that. But, my thought was that if these guys are going to play on Friday in the preseason finale against the Raiders, these guys being starters, I didn't see really the need to start Purdy against the Saints.
Yeah, no doubt. Matt Barrows joining us, really a head scratcher. Matt, who has the inside track on that backup QB position?
Astronaut.
Yeah, I would have said Brandon Allen a few days ago, but it was Josh Dobbs who got the start, got the chief backup snaps, and he makes things happen when he's in the game. I think that Allen started out training camp ahead of Dobbs because Allen was the incumbent, and he was sharper in practices, more efficient in practice. The first week, Dobbs didn't look very good, but Dobbs, as he's picked up the system, has looked better and better. And I just think that he offers a little bit more. There's a little bit more upside with him. A little bit bigger arm, and certainly the rushing ability. That's what stood out in the last two games, and he made the most of that last night. Another rushing touchdown and some really impressive scrambles. It's coming against backups and whatnot. But he did that last year, too. I think he finished fifth in the NFL among quarterbacks in rushing yards, and that's the guy who only started 12 games. So he's got that ability. He just has a little bit more than Allen. Not exactly sure what they're going to do at QB. It may be that they keep three on the roster, just like they did last year. I would think that Dobbs might have a little bit of a lead on Brandon Allen at this point.
That, of course, is Matt Barrows. During the year, you hear him on with Carmichael Dave. And, Matt, this may be a leading question, but you can be honest with us. When you're on with Drapes and I, as opposed to the mornings, is it easier because you don't have to, like, explain what the lines on the field are like you do when you talk to Carmichael Dave and what the rules are and all that stuff?
Yeah, I have to remind myself to speak at a third grade level with those guys. Monosyllabic words.
Sure.
Feet, spot, run, that type of level with those guys.
And you do a real good job of it. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, did the 49ers find their punt returner last night?
They may have. I mean, Jacob Cowing has been a bit of a mystery because he didn't really practice much in the spring. And then he got a hamstring strain immediately in training camp. So he hadn't really practiced very much until last week, and he started doing well in those practices. Remember, those are the practices that were going to replace the joint sessions with the Saints in Southern California. And Cowing looked good and caught a lot of passes, and he carried that into the game. To me, the most impressive play was the end around, because I thought the Saints had that snuffed out, and he was able to outrun a defensive end, outrun a safety, get to the side of the field, and then cut up field for 19 yards. It just kind of shows you his physical gifts. So I think that's why they drafted him in the 4th round. They wanted him to be the punt returner. They want him to be Deebo Samuel's understudy at that position, a guy when Deebo Samuel comes off the field, they can give an end around to. They can do some gadget plays with, who sort of puts the defense on its heels. And it was a good start. I think the 49ers would love to see that again from him on Friday, or more, practice standouts from him in these last practices. But that's exactly what they were looking for from him, and he's starting to provide it.
Hey, Matt, Presley Harvin III, man, he's been a bright spot. I know, obviously, it's not his job. Is he going to land somewhere else? Like, he's been impressive all preseason so far. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the 49ers are going to have to cut him because Mitch Wishnowski is their guy. He's not that injured. And if you're a team, and I don't know the punting situation, I don't know it like you guys know it, but I imagine there's one or two teams that
we're punting experts over here. Yeah.
If they're going over the tape, I mean, I don't know if it gets any better than what Harvin was able to do last night. I mean, 4 punts inside the 20 and 3 inside the 10.
Yeah. And
they all basically did the same thing. They just sort of landed around the 4 and then just died right there. It's exactly what you want from your punter. I didn't follow him very much in Pittsburgh, but I've been told that he had games like that with the Steelers. He just wasn't consistent over time. I imagine that's something that an older punter, as he's becoming a more experienced punter acquires. And so some team is going to pick him up, and I think is going to be very happy with him.
Speaking of special teams, and it always comes back to special teams with Matt Barrows because he is a special teams connoisseur, par none. But what do you think of the new kickoff rule? What's your best guess of how the 49ers handle the quote-unquote dynamic kickoff rule, Matt?
I thought that one of the Saints kickoffs was exactly what you want if you're the kickoff team last night. And it was the one that sort of skidded at like the 10 and then went towards the corner of the end zone. The 49ers had to scramble and pick it up, and they picked it up, and they may have gotten back to the 10. That's the ideal kickoff for a team. I don't know if it's that the 49ers just haven't wanted to show that card or what, but that's what they've been describing as, perfect for Jake Moody in that kickoff coverage. As far as returns, you would think that the 49ers would be better at this than most teams because it's been described as like an outside zone run, where you're moving laterally and you pick a lane and you cut back against the grain, and you hope that the defense has overrun the play. That's what they run. That's their bread and butter running play. So you would think that they would be better versed in it than a lot of teams. I haven't seen a really good return from them yet. And again, they're still kind of learning it, and they're not going to show everything that they've got. But that's an area that the 49ers have not been very good in. Gosh, over the last, I don't know, 15 years.
I know.
Their coverage and their returns have been terrible.
Yeah.
So you would think that this would be a opportunity for them to get good in an area where they've struggled in recent seasons.
Matt Barrows joining us. Hey, Matt, when you look at, the training camp and the preseason so far, to me, the overarching storyline has been obviously Brandon Ayuk and then Trent Williams too. What can you tell us about those two situations? It seems like the Ayuk thing is sort of at a holding pattern right now. I haven't heard much news the last 48 hours or so. Yeah, it has been, and the 49ers would tell you it's been sort of stuck for a long time. It does seem like they've gotten close. Let's say that they've taken the ball to the 15-yard line, and the defense is kind of crowded at that end of the field. They just can't punch it in at this point. So that's where that is. They're really haggling over that fourth year. I guess this is a 4-year deal. And the details of the fourth year are difficult right now, and they can't seem to reach agreement on that. So I don't know what the answer is, when it's going to happen. But tomorrow will be 21 days until the start of the regular season. So we're starting to run out of runway here to get Brandon Ayuk up to speed. I already have doubts about whether he can have the same sort of start to the season that he had last year. He was really good in the spring last year. He took part in all the spring practices, took part in all the training camp practices, was a standout in both. This year, he hasn't practiced since they were at UNLV in Las Vegas ahead of the Super Bowl. So very hard to see him at least getting off to the same start that he had a year ago.
Matt, when are you going to grab Ayuk by the wrist and grab John Lynch by the scruff of the neck and drag him, into a room and say, look, you guys no one's leaving till you guys get this settled? When are you going to do that, Matt?
Well, if it comes out that this contract in the end is very similar to Amon-Ra St. Brown's, which the Lions did back in May?
Yeah.
I forget when it was, but at that point, everybody was saying, you know what, that seems like a good contract for Brandon Ayuk. If they took all this time and wasted all this money and got to the same point, I think I would raise my voice.
There you go.
At some point.
There you go. Matt Barrows joining us. Matt, let's look at the landscape of the NFL, specifically the NFC. I'm an Eagles guy, so I'm not going to even ask you about, can the Eagles be a threat? But who is a threat? Which team is a threat to the Niners realistically in the NFC?
Yeah, I'd say the Eagles and the Lions are right at the top there. I mean, the Eagles have a really good offensive line, and they picked up a really good running back in the offseason. Saquon Barkley has been productive over the years on a bad Giants team that didn't really have a good quarterback and certainly didn't have a lot of wide receiver help. Now we've got all of those things in Philadelphia, plus that offensive line. I can only imagine that's going to be a very well-balanced offense, an offense that likes to run the ball both with Barkley and with Jalen Hurts. So that would, I agree with you, they would be atop my list. I'm not sure I quite believe in the Lions yet. I thought that the 49ers beat them in the NFC Championship game while they were still kind of coming out of their end-of-season slumber that they went into in the month of December. After they beat the Eagles, they seemed to coast a little bit from that point on. It really didn't wake up until the second half of that Lions game. So those would be two that I would circle. Everybody thinks that the Packers are up and coming with Jordan Love. I think the Bears are going to be fun to watch. Maybe not this year, but in coming years with a new quarterback. Those would be the teams in the NFC.
Matt Barrows, do you think that the defense will look significantly different in any way from what we saw last year now that they have a new coordinator?
I don't think it's so much the coordinator, but the personnel is going to be different. And I think overall it's going to be better. I know you're calling from Sacramento, where Eric Armstead is a favorite son.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Jacksonville now. I don't think that anybody that they brought in is as good as Armstead was, but they brought in a number of guys. Malik Collins, Jordan Elliott, Leonard Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos, number 94. He's a guy I think you're going to learn to like if you're a 49ers fan. He's been pretty consistent in training camp so far. So a lot of bodies, a lot of bigger bodies too. I think there was a sense that the 49ers started to break down maybe a little bit in the middle of that defensive line last year. And Elliott and Malik Collins are really, really big guys. They remind me of DJ Jones, who was here for a while. Mm-hmm. And they've gotten several of those body types. And then the other part of it is cornerback. I mean, I started covering this team in 2002, and I can't remember a cornerback group that is as good as this one from top to bottom. I think the starters are as good as any two starters in the league, and Charvarius Ward and Diamador Lenore. They've got to figure out who that number 3 guy is, but they have more choices than they had last year when it was Isaiah Oliver, who didn't work out in the beginning, and Ambry Thomas, who didn't work out in the end of the season. So they really threw numbers at that problem, and I think it's going to be better this year.
Matt Barrows joining us. Hey, Matt, when you look at the rookies, which one do you think will have an impact his first year? You know, Mustafa's looking good. Pooney's looking good. Cowing, we talked about. We haven't even seen Ricky Pearsall yet. Which rookie are you looking to have an impact this season? Yeah,
I think Pooney's going to have the biggest impact. And I know people aren't following right guard very closely, but he could be a week 1 starter against the Jets. I mean, it's been a little bit by default because they've had a couple of injuries at that position. It allowed Pooney to get in there early on, and he's been really consistent since he did. He's strong. He doesn't make mistakes twice. He's been good around the goal line these last 2 games. So he's looking like a rare Kyle Shanahan rookie who might start in week 1, and then if he's not injured at all during the season, a 17-game starter is almost unheard of for a Shanahan rookie. So he's one. Ronaldo Green got a lot of nice snaps last night. One of the consequences of the joint practices being canceled is that he would have gone against Chris Olave a lot over 2 days, and I think that would have been really, really good for him. And he got a handful of snaps against Olave last night, and did fairly well. So both of those guys, you mentioned Mustafa, he looked good. There was another offensive lineman, Jarrett Kingston, who got in at left guard because that's been an injury-prone position as well. He's looked pretty good as well. So overall, I think it's a pretty good class. The early returns seem promising. Some of these guys will sort of go away a little bit once the regular season starts, but they had a big draft class this year, 9 players. Most of them are earmarked to have bigger roles in 2025 and beyond. And I think the initial impressions for each of those guys has been pretty good.
Matt, we appreciate your time very much. And honestly, The Athletic with our 49er coverage, David Lombardi, Tim Kawakami, and our guest, Matt Barrows, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few people, but it is sensational. If you're a Niner fan, you really need to look into that. And Matt, you're doing some of your best work the last few years, some of the best work you've done since you were with the Daily Packet. And I just really appreciate no, seriously, it's
that. And thanks for being a longtime Packet subscriber too. We appreciate that as well.
You got it. Thanks for making time for us. We appreciate it. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right. Anytime, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Thank you, Matt Barrows. So a nice night for the 49ers, all things considered.
Yeah.
Preseason, but a nice night.
Right. I mean, the thing, my biggest takeaway so far from the Niners preseason, and Matt just touched on it, is the rookie class.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys have made some plays, and like Matt said, sure, they may take a step back, once the veterans come in. But, I think from where we thought the rookie class was going to be to where they are, and we haven't even seen Ricky Pearsall, it looks pretty solid, especially 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. And then we'll see, what Ricky Pearsall, the first rounder, does. But they got some talent there.
It's easy, as we all know, as we've said earlier, it's easy to get carried away with something any quarterback does in the preseason. But there are some things that do translate. For example, you got the 49ers are looking for, a punt returner. It was something of an issue last year in the Super Bowl, if you may remember.
Yeah.
And then you had Jacob Cowing returning a couple of punts last night. Yeah, it's a preseason, but still, returning a punt is returning a punt. And Kyle Shanahan mentioned how poised he looked, which is the big thing. Didn't look skittish. He had 2 returns for 19 yards and fair catch. And that's not nothing. I mean, is that going to mean they're going to win the Super Bowl? No, but that's a big, question mark that you want to have solved by this time of year. And it looks like maybe they've got the answer to that question after last night.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
mean, it's a way to keep the guy on the field, on the team, be a part of it. And, historically, we talked about, their special teams units not being,
and it's almost like Shanahan is like, I can't be bothered. That's I have to drop a play.
Right. Exactly. No, but he looked good last night. He looked good.
And as far as Josh Dobbs, X Factor gives you maybe a little more upside than you'd normally have in your backup position. But again, it's like, who knows? And he has been very, I think the word mercurial comes to mind. It's like, You're not sure what you're going to get with him, but he's capable of some really big things, and he's just fun to watch.
Highlight real plays, you know. He's exciting to watch. Yeah, exactly. And Matt talked about it. He seems to have the inside track right now going into the final preseason game for that backup role. I think he's too valuable to cut, let go.
Oh,
I mean,
no question.
You know what I mean? I
agree.
just think, he's already shown enough. We've seen some flashes from him last year, and so I think he's going to be a part of the team.
Yeah, and so the 49ers conclude the preseason Friday against the Raiders, and the Raiders, they've decided on their quarterback. Gardner Minshew is the man, which surprised a number of people who thought Aiden O'Connell had the inside track there.
Yeah, basically Aiden O'Connell lost the job.
Yeah, I think
he was the guy last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they made room. Jimmy G, nope, we don't need you. Aiden O'Connell is that guy. He was the incumbent, if you will. And then they bring in Gardner Minshew, and he got his spot taken.
Yeah. So then that wraps up the preseason, and then you got a little bit of time off. And then what did we say? Is it 3 weeks from last Thursday? I think it is. The season starts.
Yeah. But the good thing is, too, Whitey, the way the NFL Thursday game, Friday game.
Yeah, no one's going to watch that one.
No, I'm going to be tuned in. I don't even know what time it is. It might be 6 a.m.
In Brazil.
I'll be
Huge.
up for that one.
Yeah.
And then you got Saturday college football, and then Sunday NFL, Monday
NFL, you got the 49ers.
Yeah, you got the big game. And so that's, 4 out of the 5 days you got NFL games right there.
Big opening weekend for the NFL. We've just got to be a little more patient. This is like, Christmas is coming and it's December 22nd, and you're like,
right.
When
You're
is
off from
Santa
school,
coming?
He's
He's going to bring me electric football this year. Where is he? I can't wait.
Oh, electric football. I may have to order that. Yeah. See if they made any advancements in that game.
Supposedly they did.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they actually work. Supposedly they did. When we come back, the Kings, some are saying the Kings are playoff sleepers. Tell you exactly who is saying the Kings are playoff sleepers when we return to Sactown Sports.
Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you're in the market for a new car, shop Folsom Lake Kia. Low interest rates, low payments, and 0 down deals with approval of credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Whitey here. I want to remind you that not all gas grills are created equal. It's not even close. So bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meals with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. Yes, summer's end is approaching, but then you got football season, you got tailgating season. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill, turning me into a grilling. Technically, I'm still an amateur, but I'm virtually a professional with features that other grills can't match. Built different, built better, built to last, made with premium stainless steel, boasting quality and that lifetime warranty. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available. Check them out at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, staring at that sunshine and feeling the warmth for this Monday. Overnight tonight will cool off to the lower 60s. Great sleeping weather, right? For your day on Tuesday, expect highs in the low to mid 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, the future has been on display down in Stockton, the A's affiliate in the California League. Beginning on the 10th of August, the top 4 hitters taken by the A's in this year's draft have been in the lineup. Nick Kurtz, Tommy White, Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, and Rodney Green, the outfielder from Cal. In that game, those guys combined for 10 hits, and Kurtz hit a home run.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver that includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay to store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
Hi, this is Frank LaRosa.
And this is Scott Marsh.
Join us weekly for Golf to Go right here on Sactown Sports. We talk to all the local golf experts in the area and give you the latest on all the courses as well.
And not to mention all the golf legends and celebrities, along with all the latest in equipment and tournaments too.
Most importantly, we'll just have some fun talking about a game that's fun to play.
You know, it's my favorite hour of the week, Frank.
Golf to Go, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports. Give us a listen. I think you'll enjoy it.
It's Sky River Casino's 2nd anniversary, and we're doubling down during our $1 million Twice as Nice celebration. Earn entries while playing your favorite slots and table games. Get ready to win every Saturday, starting at 7 p.m. with winners drawn every 30 minutes. Then at 10 p.m., one lucky winner is guaranteed to win $100,000 in prizes, including $50,000 in free play and $50,000 cash. Visit skyriver.com for details. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
One, two, three, yeah!
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Brings us to the X-Files. Quick check what's going on X here. Nick Nahill on X about what's going on with Brandon Ayuk. He says something no one appears to have mentioned is Ayuk's agent, Brian Williams. Williams' agency, Athletes First, has a lot of marquee clients, but Williams only has one 8-figure annual average value client, Falcons tackle Jake Matthews. So Nick Nahill, listening to the show, says, looks like Ayuk is his first marquee client or his only one right now. I'm guessing he's gunning to make the biggest splash possible to the point he might be damaging his client. Perhaps, Nick, but then, you know, like Matt Barrows said, look, if they spend all this time and end up giving Brandon Ayuk just what Amon-Ra St. Brown got from the Lions when they could have just done that back then, what are we doing here?
Right,
That's a real embarrassment, not for Brandon Ayuk or his agent, but for the 49ers.
No, you're right. And, you know, we talked about it earlier with Rich Paul. Like, the agent works for the client, works for Brandon Ayuk. And so, you know, unless Ayuk has fully, you know, trust in his agent, you know, I think this is on Ayuk. I don't think this is agent speak.
And the great Pete Youngman, Jay, I don't know if you've seen this yet, replying to @JRayShow and Whitey Gleason. I guess you invited him to be on our panel, right? Yes, sir. DM me the list and ground rules, qualifications.
He's in.
Wink emoji. The great longtime Kings legendary trainer Pete Youngman is in.
All right. This is add some credibility to this list.
Oh, this list is oozing.
We got all the heavy hitters. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't
When
wait.
you press it a little bit and just credibility just comes flying out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great get. That's a great get, Jay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jay.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of the Kings, this is at NBC Sports Bay Area from our friend. She's been on the show, of course, Tristy Rodriguez. And she has here, just posted this today, NBA playoff tiers where the Kings rank among the West contenders next season. Tier 4, bottom of the barrel. Kings aren't in there, are they?
No.
15 Portland, 14 Spurs, 13 Jazz, 12 Rockets. Ooh, I'm surprised that she has the Spurs so far down there.
Yeah, and the Rockets, too, for that matter, right?
They're horrible. They still have Dylan Brooks, right?
My guy, Dylan Brooks. No, I think go ahead. I'll let you finish. What are your thoughts? Because once I saw that, I sort of said, why does Sarah have to be tier 4?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Houston and San Antonio are not in the same tier as Portland and Utah. Like, there needs to be a tier 4B and a 4A or something like that.
Yes, Utah ahead of the Spurs,
right.
Which is what surprises me.
I don't want to, go at a colleague or anything like that. But I saw that, and I'm like, the level of disrespect for the Spurs and the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Jazz, we know are trying to tank. They're trying to get in the Cooper flag sweepstakes.
Here's what she says about the Spurs. They've made a handful of key offseason additions. Like most things in life, however, great things take time. It won't be long until Wemby becomes the face of the league, but that time just isn't now, she says. Tier 3, the wild cards. 11, Golden State Warriors. 10, Clippers. 9, New Orleans Pelicans. Tristy says this one was tough. Pelicans, tier 3 in the 9 spot.
I'm not going to comment on this one. I'm not going to comment
on this at all.
Well,
you kind of are.
Well, the wild cards.
Yeah.
This one was tough. The only reason the Pelicans are here and not in the sleepers tier is for one reason and one reason only. What's that reason, Whitey?
LeBron.
What LeBron got to do with the Pelicans are a better team on paper compared to, but it's hard to completely like. Was she only allowed 3 in the wild cards?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Tier 2 sleepers, Lakers 8, Kings 7, Grizzlies 6, Suns 5. Ooh, the Grizzlies. Yeah, they're going to be a lot better. Further complicating things for the Kings in the very competitive West. It's just, to me, it underscores again the fact that the Kings did a lot of great things. We think they should pay out, but it's still going to be tough. It's still, they're looking to at least Tristy here like a 7 seed.
7 seed.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about it. And Memphis, to me, they're the definition of a wild card, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to be. I have no idea. And, I think, 7 is way too low. I was talking to somebody earlier, at Phenom. He's like, yeah, I got the Kings 7 or 8 seed. If they're 7 or 8, that means playing. That's disappointing to me. That's a disappointing regular season if this team is 7 and 8.
Playing, I don't mind as long as you can get out.
As long as you get it. Yeah, exactly. But if you got to play, if you're a one game do or die against the Pelicans like we saw last year, I think we should be in better position than that.
Tier 1, the best in the West. Again, this is from Tristy Rodriguez, NBC Sports Bay Area. 4, Denver. 3, Minnesota. 2, Dallas. Number 1, Oklahoma City Thunder. Who do you think is least likely to stay in that top 4 bunch?
I think Denver. I think Denver's a 5 seed.
Never liked Denver. You even said that
you
yourself.
said never liked Denver. Even when Alex English was hooping for him.
You never liked Alex English either.
Michael Adams back in the day. No.
David Thompson.
Yeah, David Thompson. Here's the thing about Denver. I think the loss of KCP is tremendous for them. Think about it too. They were what? A 2 seed? 2 seed last year?
By
like tiebreaker, basically. They lost KCP, Dallas has gotten better. Minnesota is strong, and I think they've improved as well. So I got Denver probably at the 5 spot. I got Denver in the same tier as Sacramento and Phoenix. And I'm going to throw the Pelicans in there also. To me, the race for the 4 spot in the West is going to be a dogfight. I got 4 teams battling for those 4 spots, that 4th spot.
I'm not trying to pin you to this because you're not necessarily committed to the tiers that she has, but are you saying like your tier 2 would be Phoenix and Denver and the Kings and New Orleans?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my tier 2 right there. Memphis is legitimately a wild card. They could bust into that tier 2, but I think, based on what's coming back, based on health, I don't know who Ja Morant's going to be. Is he fully healthy? I don't know. Marcus Smart coming off injury as well. How will Zach Edey fit in? Memphis has some question marks. So on paper, they're a good team. But I think to have Sacramento 7th behind Memphis, Phoenix, that's why I would redo the tiers. You know what? I'm going to do a tier list this week.
All right.
Can I do a Drapes tier list? That'll be a Drapes take later this week.
D-list. That's a D-list.
That's a D-list later this week. I'll come up with my own tiers because Tristy's tiers a little wonky here.
It sounds like you're ready to bid bon voyage to both the Lakers and the Warriors this year.
Definitely the Warriors. I think the Lakers will be a 7 seed. I think they're a top end of the play-in. You know what I mean? Just on the outside looking in. I think they'll probably be a 7 or 8 seed. They'll get in. They'll have a much more favorable matchup. Won't have to face Denver probably, so maybe they can make some noise. I just think I'm looking for the Kings to come out like gangbusters, sort of like the Celtics did last season. The Kings have something to prove. Last year was a disappointment, not making the playoffs. And you add DeMar DeRozan, it's imperative for this team to get off to a hot start right from the jump, and that's what I'm expecting. And so I think Sacramento has to be in that tier 2. I only got 3 teams in tier 1. OKC, Minnesota. And
Dallas?
I'm not 100% sold on Dallas, but I'll throw them in there just to give them respect for being Western Conference champion.
I agree with you, but why not? Why aren't you sold on that?
On Dallas?
Yeah, and I'm with you.
I just feel like they got hot at the right time. They had a new jolt of energy at the trade deadline. It's just something about them. I'm not, and let's not forget.
Is that something about them where number 77?
I'm a Luka
Would you
fan.
turn it upside down as L?
Right,
L?
L. But they lost Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah.
And he's not an amazing offensive player, but he's
got Klay Thompson.
What about defensively, Whitey? The reason Dallas was good in the second half of the season is because their defense picked up. When you add a PJ, you add a Gafford, I feel like defensively they were much improved. The reason they gave us problems, size and athleticism, length. They lost some of that, even though Najee Marshall's a solid player, but he's like their 7th man now. And so I'm not sold on Dallas, maybe 52, 53 wins, but I think we'll be in the mix with them.
It's a jumble in the West. I think it's virtually impossible to predict now because I think it seemed like the Warriors. I think they're very determined to get something done one way or the other between now and the trade deadline. I think that's Mike Dunleavy's marching orders. They were all the way in on marketing and they were in on Paul George.
Yep.
Okay, I know now there's not as much available on the shelves, but I'm sure they're still looking at every potential trade. They don't want to waste the last years of Steph Curry's career. Does that mean they'll get something done? No, I don't know. I'm not saying for sure they will, but I'm saying it's hard to predict what's going to happen because know they're trying.
They're desperate. They got to get something done. You're right about that. I think they'll be active. And according to reports, they're looking to move off some of their young assets, whether it's Moody, Kuminga. And I think at some point that could net you a haul back if you're Golden State.
So it's going to be fun. And then this week we're going to have, is it a D list or is it Drapes Takes with
I don't know.
tiers?
Drapes Takes is sponsored, so you got to add a little, that's like a higher level.
I see.
You know what I mean? It's I might call it Drapes Takes.
Yeah.
With the D-list version.
You want on
right, we can do whatever we want. It's Drapes Takes.
Yeah. The Wayback Quiz is coming up.
Yeah.
Boy, that was
a shellacking.
It was a
bounce
one-sided.
back.
Yeah.
You need a bounce back week, bro.
Well, we'll see if Jay can get that bounce back week started off right when the Wayback Quiz is what we're going to do next on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, staring at that sunshine and feeling the warmth for this Monday. Overnight tonight will cool off to the lower 60s. Great sleeping weather, right? For your day on Tuesday, expect highs in the low to mid 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for special offers right now. I'm Coach Doug Christie urging you to visit my friends at Folsom Lake Kia and save big on your next new or certified pre-owned vehicle right now. Visit FolsomLakeKia.com.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation. Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card? Uh-huh. Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase. Really? Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
I just don't like going to church, man. I don't like the people there. People at church have like coworker vibes.
Ralph Barbosa, the super cool ass tour.
Like some of them are cool, but most of them, they're just being fake nice because they want that promotion. Like if those are the people that are gonna be hanging out in heaven, I just go to hell.
Saturday, September 7th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the hilarious Ralph Barbosa live.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Today's Way Back quiz is coming up, with a new rule twist. That's interesting. We'll get to that.
Here we go.
In just a moment. First on the text line here, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Ramsey, thank you, Ramsey, for listening, of course. Also, just for putting your name on it. We were just talking about the teams in the West and what tiers they should be in NBA-wise. Ramsey says, not sold on Minnesota.
Really? I wonder why. Like, they didn't lose anybody. They added my boy Dillingham. Like, I don't understand why he's out on.
Who are they adding? Who'd they add? What are they adding this year?
No, they added Dillingham off the bench. Some scoring off the bench. It was what they needed.
530. Would you feel better about the Kings' depth right now if they had Zach Edey? No, I don't think I would.
You wouldn't? I'm in on Zach Edey. I'm 100% in because he has a little nasty streak that I didn't know about. Like he's going to be a good pro, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish we had a big like him.
Mm-hmm. Would you have drafted him? Well, they didn't have a chance, right? He was gone.
No, he was gone.
Yeah.
What was he, 9 or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was already gone.
From the 530, is there a way the Niners and Ayuk both come out winners? Yeah, if they win the Super Bowl. No, I mean, seriously. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. If you win the Super Bowl, then how you signed him and what you gave him, it doesn't matter.
How about this, though? Let me ask you. Is it a win if they sign him and they both actually agree and he's here week 1 and playing?
Sure.
I view that kind of as a win, too.
Yeah, but it looks bad to the point Matt Barrows made. If they end up giving him something that they could have given him weeks ago.
Yeah.
But as long as you play well and he plays well, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess, they're both winners if they get it settled and they're able to move beyond it.
Ramsey says, I have zero faith in Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. They can crack very easy. I don't know. They looked pretty good last year, man. They looked good last year. Then they cracked against who they lose to? Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got smoked. Yeah.
Rudy Gobert. Something about Rudy Gobert really bugs me. It's time for the Way Back quiz.
Yeah, let's get it on.
August the 19th.
Let's get it on.
Based on things that happened on this date or things related to things that happened on this date, August 19th. Here's the new true-false rule, guys. We have one true-false today. The new true-false rule is this. If you pick a true-false question, if you miss it, your opponent gets a point. But you can hear the question and then decide whether you want them to answer it or you want to answer it.
You saving Drake. Stop saving Drake.
No, the problem with true falses is only one person can get a point.
What you're saying.
So with this rule, either person can get a point, but you can listen to and go, no, I'm going to let them answer that if you want.
All right.
Yeah.
So
hold up. Why does this come up after I shellac them 4 out of 5 days?
It has nothing to do.
Was it too, like, did I embarrass them too much? Make it a little more even? Is that what it is?
No. How does that make it even? It's the same for both of you. I had a great true false and I realized the problem with true false is,
all right.
Because we had that game and it came down to the end. It's like, only one can get a point.
Okay.
So it has, believe it or not, it has nothing to do with what happened last week.
All right.
So Kyle Draper, the champion, you're up first. We have 1909, 1951, 1995, 2007, 2008, and 2012. One true false and 2 closest twos.
2012.
2012. True false.
Ooh, all right. Let me hear the question.
Here's the question. Now, if you get it right, it depends. Yeah. A game between the Mets and Nats is delayed in the 6th inning when a praying mantis is discovered in the outfield. Play resumes after Andres Torres gently picks it up and hands it to a member of the grounds crew. True or false? Do you want to answer that or do you want to?
I will answer.
All right.
False.
I'm sorry, it's true.
No way. No way.
Pray a mantis?
Get out of here.
It's true.
Where'd you find that? The Onion or something? What?
The Onion.
I'm okay losing that point, man. I'm all right losing
the
that.
Onion. The disrespect towards the Onion.
Jay has the point, and you're up, Jay.
1909.
1909, a closest to.
I want Drapes to go first.
Drapes, this date, 1909. The Phillies set an
Yeah.
all-time record by getting rained out for how many days in a row? All-time record.
Oh, that's a good question. Rained out for
How many days in a row? A record.
in a row.
Yeah.
4.
4. What do you say, Jay?
Oh, that's a good. I was hoping you went 3. I'm going a record back in then and had technology.
Yeah.
I'm going 5. They go a week.
The answer, believe it or
be
not,
4.
is 10.
Whoa!
Damn!
Yeah, 10 in 1909.
What the hell
Yeah,
happened
Man,
there?
their stadium must have been rickshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No drainage or something. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, you find some crazy stuff in the Onion.
Yeah, that's
so-
crazy. I know. I see.
So Jay has the lead, but Drapes got a long
What was
ways
that
to go.
stadium? Was that the one that we talked about like a couple months, 3 months ago? Back where it,
Well, it wasn't all the same stadium. I don't
Okay.
think.
Gotcha.
I have
Oh,
to
really?
check on that. But I think,
they like different games.
yeah, I think they
Oh.
played in the Baker Bowl. I could be wrong.
So not all home games, let's say.
I didn't check, but I assume
Okay.
not. Yeah. Let's see here. KD, you got 1951, 1995, 2007, 2008.
95.
1995. It's closest to.
Jay goes first.
Jay, this date, 1995, Mike Tyson
Oh, iron.
returns to the ring after 3 years in prison
and then in the pen.
DQs Peter McNeely
Yep.
in how many seconds?
89 seconds.
He's got it.
Yes.
Oh, you knew that one. Jay was on top of that one like a fastball right down the middle. He was looking for that one.
89 seconds.
Jay about to wrap this up.
Oh, there's still 3 points on the board. You're down 3-0. So with the tiebreaker, you can still win this thing.
All
Jay, 51-07-08 to wrap it up.
Let's go
clinch it.
2008.
2008. This day, 2008, the USA baseball team eliminates Taiwan from medal contention at the Olympics. What nation would end up winning baseball gold in 2008? South Korea, Cuba, USA.
Cuba.
Cuba's not correct. Drapes,
let
get
me hear
back
this
in this
again.
thing. This day, 2008, USA baseball team eliminates Taiwan from medal contention at the Olympics. What nation would end up winning baseball gold? South Korea, USA.
South Korea.
He's got it.
He's got it.
Yeah.
Still in the
I
game.
just thought about it. I was like,
Still in the
when did
game.
the Team USA win the baseball classic? Do we know?
The baseball
The World,
class-
World Baseball Classic. You guys remember? No? Okay.
But remember, this was
Olympics.
Yeah,
all right.
gotcha. Okay, yeah. So down 3-1.
Back in this.
Yeah, 1951, 2007.
2007.
2007. What 40-year-old, this date, 2007, 40-year-old became the Braves' all-time strikeout leader? Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine.
What year was this? 2007?
Yeah.
John Smoltz.
He's got it.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's Smoltz.
Making it a game.
Got to get this, Jay. The pressure's on.
All right, Jay. You're up 3-2. You can't lose. You can go to overtime, or you could win it here. 1951. Eddie Goodell, who is 3'7",
whoever that is,
appears as a pinch hitter for the St. Louis Browns as a stunt and ends up walking on 4 pitches. What current major league pitcher is only 5'7"? Marcus Stroman, Yuki Matsui, Sam Maul. Eddie Goodell, 3'7", appeared in the game in 1951. What current major league pitcher is only 5'7"?
Give me the last two.
Marcus Stroman, Yuki Matsui, Sam Maul.
Oh, man. I'm going Sam Maul.
That's not correct. Drapes, you can force overtime here.
Matsui.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's
Stroman's
Marcus Stroman.
5'7"?
No way.
No, hold on, Whitey.
Stroman is 5'7"?
Yes.
No way.
Yes. And Jay gets the win today.
No way.
That quiz. Look it up.
Nah, come on, Jay. Come on, Jay.
Look it up.
I bounce back.
Hold
I
up.
want to thank my boy Trey. Who's the guy? David Too Shiesty or whatever. You know, always hating on the player.
Yeah.
Hold up here.
Derek Too Shifty.
Derek Too Shifty. That's,
that's
my
his
guy.
name.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's quite a match.
Strowman is 5'7".
I would have
never
been
guessed
around
that.
for a minute, so I thought I would have known that.
Yeah. It was a good comeback, Drapes. Really good comeback.
Yeah, good job, Jay.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks for being with us. We're back with you tomorrow. Stick around for Infinity Sports Radio on Sactown Sports.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper, and now is the time to make your dreams come true at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Their Dream Days